Hey, Eddie, pull your mic away from your nose just a bit. All right, here we go.
If that helps.
Yeah.
You can support this show at patreon.com/ASA podcasting.
The wasteland is a post-apocalyptic mess as the sole survivor wanders out about to see the rest. Nuclear explosions sending out the gamma rays from deep within the core, frozen atomic waste. From deep within the core, frozen atomic waste.
Welcome to the 74th edition of the Fallout Feed Roundtable. It's the second episode of Season 8. We are the show who compares and contrasts Fallout experiences through a lively roundtable discussion by playing through the same quests with characters who have been randomly assigned drastically different attributes. Welcome, everyone. I am Andrew, joined this evening by a few of my favorite Fallout faces. Hi, Jess.
Hey there, Andrew.
Wonderful to have you. Hi, Ray.
Evening, Andrew.
And our two special guests this evening, all the way from Australia, Eddie.
Hey, Andrew.
Am I going to ever not run this joke into the damn ground? And Will. Hi, Will.
Hello. How you doing?
Very, very, very well. Thank you, everyone, for hopping on the show tonight. Very special edition of the show. We've got the first big batch of quests and events for the best side quest of Fallout 76 that we're going to go through tonight. Also on the agenda, our favorite game show returns with Scream at Your Phone. And maybe also we'll hear from Freighter if we ever get around to the damn Fallout Terminal Velocity thing that we used to do back in the day. So hopefully we'll be able to put a little show here together for this evening. The quests we'll get through are Wasted on Nuka Shine, the Getting to Know Biv quest. Personal Matters, that is the Getting to Know the Overseers quest. Leader of the Pack, getting to know some of our Canis Lupus friends. The Path to Enlightenment, getting to know our moth friend. And Find Dangles, getting to know our astronaut monkey friend. So lots on the agenda this evening. So let's get right to it. Jess, did you play any Fallout this week?
Oh, I did. Yeah. It's actually been 2 weeks since our last regular show with the whole Nucacular special. And most of my playing on my Roundtable character was in relation to the quests. So we'll talk about that as we get there. But definitely played some outside of that. Did some more Nuclear Winter and a few fun things.
You've been enjoying that Nuclear Winter still?
You know, it's worn on me, but like I was telling in the group, if you take your time with it, you know, a couple hours a week, it's actually still really fun. You play too much of it, you start getting paranoid out in the wasteland and always looking over your shoulder. But I'm finding new things, having fun, found some good teams. Problem is there's no time to actually stop and build stuff.
Yeah,
So,
Alex posted his, I'm level 6,000 in this now. And I have all the power armors and all the perks and everything for it. So
yeah, his last bid, I think he was 77, so he's probably in the 80s at this point.
nice. Right on. Ray, did you get to any playing?
Yeah, I got a few levels in.
What'd you get up to?
77.
Oh, I get it. Jesus, Ray. What do you? I mean, I know you're retired now, but you might have a problem, man.
Well, that's not all of it too. I started another character.
Wait, are you 77 on the Roundtable character?
Good Lord.
Yeah.
Goodness.
Oh my goodness.
All right. You
Yeah.
need to get a job, Ray. I'm sorry.
So, well, you know, she's crazy. I'm crazy.
Now, this isn't Abby Normal.
No. This is
Some other crazy person that you've created.
Yeah, this is the one that hangs out in the insane asylum.
And what's her Ronin name again?
Batosai.
I love it. You posted a picture in the group of Batosai creeping up on a super mutant. It was a great pic. She looked very hungry.
Yes, indeed. She does a lot of snacking.
Very nice. Hey, Eddie, did you get anything fun this week?
I got to play a little bit. I got caught up on the quests, all except for I couldn't get one of them to pop. But I didn't get to play any last week. I was on vacation.
Oh no, I just took a trip up to my in-laws last week. That's what 4th of July fell on a Thursday night, which is our usual show night. So we decided that instead of trying to get together, we'd let everyone enjoy their holiday off with their families and stuff. So we pre-recorded the little the Nuke special. That was Jess's first Nuke, and it was a really fun time. If you happen to skip that show, I suggest you go back and listen to it. Lots of good information and hilarity ensued. But yeah, it was a good episode last week. And I'm glad everyone got a chance to, have a week off to spend time with their family. Did you guys have a good 4th of July? Did you do anything? Ray, did you blow anything up? Do you have grandkids that like to watch fireworks and stuff?
No, and we keep it cool because the dogs go pretty whack about it. So
yeah,
there's enough. It's been probably 5 years since Georgia legalized aerial fireworks, so there's still quite a lot of that going on every night.
Oh yeah, like
in the neighborhood.
2 weeks later, yeah, still.
Yeah, it used to be only on only on the holidays because people had to smuggle them in from South Carolina or Alabama.
Yeah.
So now they can just go down and buy more.
Yeehaw. I would have assumed Florida for some reason. I always picture people in Florida blowing shit up.
Yeah, there's only certain spots around the Tampa area that you can get aerial fireworks in Florida.
Interesting. Gosh, I imagine that would have been a statewide thing. Crazy. Will, I skipped over you. Did you play any Fallout this week?
Oh yeah, definitely. We some of the PS4 people, we got together, helped someone do their I think first Scorch Earth event, and so some of that, and then most of the Roundtable quests with my character. There was one like Getty that I couldn't get to pop for me either, and then another one I intentionally didn't do because we have plans, like a community thing going on with that later, I think.
Very nice. We're doing some group activities. I was mowing through the main quest, doing Rose's stuff. Then I got, after about the 14th, 15th Rose fucking sub quest, I was just like, God damn, fuck this. So I went off and then I remembered someone, Ray, or I don't even remember who said it. They reminded me, you don't have to do that to, play the main quest. You can skip right over that shit and just go right to the Enclave cave. I don't know, maybe it was Jeff. I was like, oh yeah. Fuck Rose.
Yeah.
I hear ya.
If you don't want that ski sword, then there's no reason to do requests.
A free cannibal card, but you can get cannibal otherwise, so it doesn't really.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun dropping a nuke on her during our nuke-tacular. My favorite moment.
It's like, fuck you, Rose. I'm shoving my cat off my table. Go away.
Yeah, I thought that was funny. The true threat to Appalachia. Yeah.
Glad you liked it. Yeah, you and Jerry were trying to do some of the Enclave quests together, and I jumped in on a high-level character to help, but he logged off. So have you made it to General yet on the character, or have you not had a chance?
Oh, you're talking to me? Sorry.
Yeah, sorry, Andrew. Yep, on the Enclave stuff.
My cat is running around the damn desk. He hit a button on my computer, which expanded the recording window of Audacity to full screen. Now I cannot back that out to see the rest of my I don't know what to press. I'm full screen.
Escape?
I did.
Wait, you're on a Mac, aren't you?
I'm on a Mac with a PC plug USB keyboard, so a lot of the shortcuts don't work.
Wow. How do you minimize things on a Mac?
I have no clue. And the cat just knocks shit over. I've got the clumsiest AF cat. Oh my God. He falls off stuff. He's got cobwebs all over his face right now. You can tell he's been under the couch. Ugh. Sorry for the cat talk, you guys. He's just ruined the show. I can't adjust you guys. I can't do anything. I can't see the Hangouts. I can't see any of my notes. I can't.
Can you tab through any other windows?
Let me see. No.
We can pause for a minute while you try to minimize it, and if we lose it, just come back.
If I pause the recordings,
I don't mean the recording, but yeah.
So I don't know. We'll just make do here. Yeah, so we'll get into our quests and all that here in just a minute. Let's see. Let's change it up a little bit. We usually play this later in the game. Let's go ahead and start off the show with a scream at your phone, because I think that's a really fun game. And I've got 2 categories here, and if we have time, maybe we'll do both of them. But we'll just start off with the one here. Jess, you should be an expert in this one.
No pressure. Awesome.
You freely admitted in a recent episode, I don't know if it was last one or this one or just about every episode probably. What is your main kind of food sustenance that you like to prepare for yourself in the wasteland?
Oh, I am a soup queen.
We
I
are
make
getting
all the
into
soup.
Fallout 76 soups.
And Will is too, I believe.
Oh gosh, we got 2 soup masters in the house. All right, we're gonna whittle them down, guys. We've got tonight on Scream at Your Phone soups from Fallout 76, and I really can't see what order you guys are in, so I'm gonna write this down real quick. We will go in the order of Jess, then Ray, then Eddie, then Will. And you guys remember the rules of the game, I hope? It's just a simple list game. All I'm going to do is ask Jess to list one item from the category. Then I'm going to ask Ray. And then I'm going to ask Eddie. I'm going to ask Will. We'll just keep going in that order, back down making loops, go down that order until people can't name anything. Once you can't name it, then you'll have to step out and we'll go on with the remaining players. And whoever wins gets a big bowl of soup. So we'll go ahead and start with Jess. Could you name for me, Jess, a soup?
I can. It is pretty much the only soup I eat, which is why I may not be as good as this as you think. It is corn soup. Corn soup is my favorite.
Soup.
Oh crap! There goes one of the 2 I know.
I know.
One of the 2 that Ray's know. All right, corn soup is off the chart there. All right, so let's go to Ray.
Razor grain soup.
Nice.
Razor grain is there. Let me find it. Razor grain. Yes, thank you. Eddie, name a soup for me, please.
Yeah, them are the 2 that I really was thinking. Does Appalachia chili count? Or
Yes, sir. And I'm not even
That's a
sure
good
how to Appalachia. How do they say it?
Appalachia.
Appalachia. Appalachia.
To quote Will.
Will.
Okay. Yeah, I'm afraid I'm going to probably be much like Jess. I eat a lot of soups, but it's always the same 2. One is the corn that she mentioned, and the other is a carrot soup. So we'll go from there and see.
Let's see. I've got. What is in carrot soup? Besides the carrot, obviously.
It's just carrot, wood, and boiled water. It definitely is a soup.
Alrighty, let me find it on my list here.
Is the list that long?
There it is. Oh God, you guys are in trouble.
Oh, I'm in trouble.
All right, Jess, we're back around to you.
Okay, let's go with Tato soup.
Tato is there. Yes, Tato. Ray.
Noodle cup.
Noodle cup is a soup. Let me see if we have. Yep, noodle cup. There it is. Eddie, sir.
I don't know. I think I'm going to be out. I don't eat a lot of soups. My character's a carnivore. I don't even pay attention to them.
Well, let me give you a hint, Eddie. Are there meat soups? Question mark.
I don't eat enough of them, I don't think. But I can't remember. There's a chicken soup. I don't remember if it's called chicken noodle soup or not.
Chicken noodle soup is there already.
Oh boy.
There. Good job, Will.
So, does sweet potato stew count?
It absolutely does. Sweet potato stew. Thank you. And Jess.
How about glowing fungus soup?
It is there. Glowing fungus. I will. Yes. No. Here. There. Yep. Got it.
Okay.
Ray, next.
Shoot. Is there I don't know. Brahmin noodle soup?
I wish, Ray. Sorry. Is that your final answer?
Yeah, I have no idea.
Sorry, Ray. You will have to sit the rest of this round out. Eddie, do you have a guess?
I don't. I'm out of guesses now.
Sorry, Eddie. Will, do you have anything else?
Pumpkin soup.
Pumpkin soup is
Good
there.
one.
Nice.
Good job, Will. And I'll let Ray and Eddie back in if they want, and I'll give you this hint. There's basically a soup for any plant or a lot of the different meats you come across too, guys. So if you just make them up out of thin air, you might actually hit something.
I don't know. Brahmin didn't work.
Ramen noodle?
There was chicken
Like-
noodle.
I guess it's like beef. What's that dish? It's not Salisbury steak. That doesn't have noodles. What's that beef and noodles, egg noodles dish? Love that stuff.
Stroganoff.
Spicy beef.
Stroganoff. Stroganoff. Thank you, Will. Love that shit. Good stuff.
Mhm.
Let's see. Where were we?
Did Will just go?
Ray and Eddie were out. Stroganoff is not there. Will, sorry, you were out. No, go ahead. Do you have another guess, Will?
Well, no, I had said pumpkin soup, so I think
Jess, did you go back?
It is my turn now. Yep. I'm going to go with vegetable medley.
Vegetable medley soup. It is there. Great answer. Will, back to you, sir.
gourd soup.
Gourd. Let me see. Oh my God, it is there. I was doubting that one. It is there. Gourd soup is there. Jess, back to
That
you.
is impressive. Okay, I've written down some odd ones. Let's try this one. Gulper slurry.
Gulper slurry.
Pretty sure gulper slurry is in there, but is it a soup?
I don't think it is technically considered a soup because it is not in my list.
Oh, okay. Does that mean I'm out?
You can have one more guess. I'll let you have another guess there if you want.
Okay, this is going to be wrong, but Meyerlurk bisque.
That would be delicious, but yeah, I don't see that. I do not. That is an obvious hole, and they need to round out the recipes with some Meyerlurk bisque because that just sounds delicious. Will, do you have a guess to cement your championship here?
Sure. Rad stag stew.
Rad stag stew is there.
Of course.
Would you guys like me to list some of the remaining soups that you did not name?
Definitely. Is there like a mole rat stew or something? Like, I got to hear these.
Let's start off with blight soup,
Ew.
brain fungus soup,
W.
and the reward for that Mama Casarita. What's her name? The that one?
Mama Dolce.
Mama Dolce.
Oh, just the canned stew?
Canned meat stew. That's a really good stew. It gives good buffs for that one. Then we have fire cap soup. Also,
Oh, of course.
Jess, you said glowing fungus soup, and I
Yes.
gave you credit for that. Also in the category, we have a glowing fungus puree, and I'm like, what? Can I get confirmation from any of you guys? Do both of those actually exist in the game? Because they were both on the list.
I don't remember seeing puree, but I
Puree.
can't believe a puree counts and a slurry doesn't. Just saying.
And if you want to be a cannibal, eat some human soup. We have our iguana soup. We have mega sloth mushroom soup. That must be a really good one. That must be all sorts of buffs to that. That sounds annoying to make. Mutant hound stew. And then we have some more veggies here. Silt bean puree, silt bean soup, soot flour herb paste. Come on, you guys didn't have that one off the top of your head? Soot flour herb paste. How is a paste with soup?
Yeah, that's a concentrate. I don't know what they're talking about. Unless it's like miso or something.
Yeah, it's like that. What's that concentrated meat flavoring you put in stuff?
Bouillon?
Bouillon, yeah. Swamp tofu soup. Swamp tofu? The fuck is that?
Interesting.
Tasty squirrel stew. And that was it. That's the ones you missed. Hey, guys, I thought you did pretty well. There's lots of weird, random stuff in that list. I thought you guys did a great job.
There really are some weird ones.
Yeah.
That mushroom, the mega sloth mushroom soup, that one counts as a vegetarian dish too. Like, you would think because it's mega sloth, or at least I did, that it was for the carnivores only, but the herbivores gained a
Oh,
neat.
I wonder
in the bones.
for that.
I wonder if it applies to both.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, because I guess it's just from the mushrooms. Like if you ever look at the mega sloths up close, you have those mushrooms growing off of them. So maybe it's
Oh
just for
yeah,
this.
you're right. They do. I went through a phase where I didn't see the Mega Sloth for 6 months, the whole first entry to the game or whatever, and then I went through a phase of a couple weeks where I saw him every time I played, and I was like, "Holy cow! They really adjusted the spawn rate of the Mega Sloth." And now I'm back to I haven't seen the motherfucker in 2 months. You know what I mean? He's a ghost town
Yeah.
again.
They might just keep adjusting the slider just back and far, back and forth a little bit too far each time.
How aggressive are they? Because I did see one not too long ago. The last one I saw was in a tree, and I don't know if it's bugged or not because it never came down to like get me or whatever. So then I thought, oh, maybe they're all just in the trees and I'm running by them and not noticing them up there in the tree. How aggressive are they?
I don't know. I don't want to say like overly aggressive. I wonder if they don't have like a good awareness or perception, because I feel like I have seen them, but I have to get go near them before they start fighting.
Yeah, but if you step within 48 miles of a gulper, gulpers also hug.
Yes.
If you get within 48 miles of those, they're immediately onto you. They can see you out of the back of their head with their eyes. They can smell you. They have a sixth sense of. They can sense your magnetism.
Yeah.
Or something.
Yeah, and if you get within 6 feet of them, you have snot ear.
Exactly. Fucking gross. All right. Well, good job on the game, you guys. I thought that was really fun. Soups. I know we've done a lot of the basic wide-ranging categories in that game. We've sort of used some of those now, so that's the kind of thing you're going to be seeing in the game coming in the future, is like that sort of category where we have to get pretty specific. So, I thought you guys did a great job with the soups. So, wonderful job. Will, champion of the week.
Yay.
Let's get into our quest tonight, guys. I did not play any Wasted on Nuka Shine. I did not get that quest started. Was there anyone out there, you guys, who happened to start the whole get to know Biv stuff?
Oh yeah.
All right. Okay, guys. Well, share the load and sort of let's talk about it, and especially bring up how your character role may have influenced any decision-making processes you would have come through here. So before you talk and say how you played any bit of the quest, let's do a little brief character introduction. Everyone got into their characters last week or 2 weeks ago now. With the character introductions, it's one of our best episodes. It was really awesome to hear 15 different awesome character roles and backstories. You guys are doing a great job. Keep up the good work with the feedback, by the way, everybody. Next week, reminder, since my kid doesn't nap anymore on Thursday afternoons, I can't really put the show together Thursday, so I'm doing it after he goes to bed on Wednesday nights now. So by 9 p.m. Wednesday nights, United States Eastern Standard, no, we're on daylight time, Eastern Daylight Time. Make sure you get that feedback into me, 9 p.m. on Wednesday nights, so I can get that show put together for us to have fun with on Thursday. So I didn't actually... Pat wasn't on the show last time we did character introductions, I don't believe. And I didn't actually get to do much of a character introduction, so I will maybe mention a few things about my character a little bit later. But let's do a little bit of character reminders as we step into the quest portion of our segment tonight. So, Ray, why don't you just do a little brief reminder who your character is, and then Jess can hop in, remind us of her character, and then we'll get into the quest there.
Okay, so Batosai is an anime character that was a famous samurai warrior that walked away from the samurai life and just wandering around, helping people out that he wanted to help. Well, my character in the vault was fascinated by the story, but she was really more interested in his time in the war, where he was known as Batosai the Manslayer. She pretty much hates everybody. She is certifiably insane, and has completely taken on the the persona of this Batosai character. She even gave herself the cross cheek scar that he has in the stories. And so she runs around now just wreaking havoc. She became a cannibal because, that just seemed like a natural progression for her. And so she eventually discovered Fort Defiance, going through the main quest, and was completely absorbed by the aura in the old insane asylum. And so she built her camp just outside of the Fort Defiance, and she goes in there regularly. Now, more mechanically, it's my level spot. I go through there just like Abby Normal used to go through Whiterun on a regular basis. She goes through there. There's a lot of ghouls in there, and more importantly, there's 21 straitjackets.
And those sell for a pretty cap, right?
For her, with her, she has a charisma of 6, and so that plus the barter perk, she gets 45 caps per straitjacket.
Nice.
So, yeah, she doesn't have any problem maxing out the vendors.
If you nuke Fort Defiance, do the ghouls inside are they affected?
Not for mass and stuff, because that's in a loading screen to get in there.
But
so
the ones in the sewer place, or sometimes some of them.
Yeah, I mean they do turn glowing,
but they'll have the stuff sometimes, right?
I don't think so.
I think Bethesda might have made a special effort with the burrows to allow it to affect a little more. Because Ray's right, most places aren't affected. Like they'll turn glowing meat and all that.
Yeah.
But you're not going to get high radiation fluids or hardened mass for the most part.
And they changed the balance of those. I know we mentioned it on the show, but I cannot find, what is it, fluids now? It used to be mass, but now it's fluids, I think, that are possible to find.
But on the plus side, if you nuke Fort Defiance and start the that daily that's there, where you fight the Scorch Beast, you get an absolute crap ton of scorched outside.
Yeah.
And so you get a lot of mass there. And then also there's a lot of different flora around there. Because
say that again, where was that?
Fort Defiance on the outside.
On the outside. Okay, I was thinking about this the other day. Can you nuke event spaces and then start the open the map and then see where the events are and then nuke the event and then go to the event and start that? And will the event be affected by those things? Like if I do leader of the pack, will they all be glowing wolves and drop the good stuff?
So that leads us into something I put in the show notes for later. But because you and I, this past week, we dealt with taking workshops while we were in nuke zones. And so events are kind of the same as workshops, where they will pull in, and it's actually a great way to get extra enemies. They will pull in glowing ones. And if they're outdoors, they have a chance of having the hardened mass or high radiation fluids. But the level's not going to be quite the same. So it's not like if you're in the forest that everything that pulls in is going to be level 60. We did the lakeside cabins, and we got a bunch of level 21 to 30 glowing mole rats, and we got glowing meat, and we got a hardened mass or 2 off them, but not a whole lot. But that is a good tip and a good way to get extra.
That was pretty interesting. I'd never done that before. Have you done that? Have you guys done workshops in nuke zones?
No.
Or events in nuke zones?
Just events.
I want to think which workshop has the most bad guys. Like I don't even know if they do it that way. Like, do they do it where one is easier and like what? How about that big fucking mining arm thing in the ash heap? Like,
Yeah, that would actually be quite good, the powering up, because it lasts the full. I mean, you can make it run for. How long does the event take? Is it 20 minutes, 10, 20 minutes?
It's at least 20 minutes, I think.
Yeah, it's a good long one. So if you hit powering up in a nuke zone, and you get a few workshop defenses in there as well, you'd pull in a lot of glowing mole miners and such. I mean, they'll cap out at like level 40 as mole miners do, but you'll still get a bunch.
but they'll have 3-star legendaries and stuff still, right?
Yep.
Yeah. We had some listeners, group members asking for 3-star legendary tips.
Mhm.
So anyone want to briefly cover their method of how you would farm some 3-star legendaries? Eddie, you seem to have a lot of good stuff. How do you aim for your 3-star legendaries? How do you end up with a weapon that you're happy with?
Oh, most of the time when I'm farming legendary weapons, I do the uranium fever. That's where I've gotten most of my legendary weapons from.
Mhm.
So you don't even. It's not nuked or anything. You just go in and there's legendaries when they're not.
Whenever uranium fever pops up, you go in there, man. There's always at least 2-star, usually a 3-star in there.
Yeah, every one of those supervisors is going to give you something legendary, most likely.
And how many supervisors are there? Like, there's 3 stations, and then how many waves are there? Is there a supervisor per station per wave, or how does that work?
There's usually 3, yeah.
And okay, so they'll pop out some 3-star legendaries for you. Okay, when you get it in your hand, you've got one of the effects is kind of okay for you, Eddie. What are you doing with this weapon then? Like, do you sell them? Do you put them in your vending machine? Do you take them to Murgle Burgle? What do you like to do?
I usually just turn them in for script for old Murgle Burgle there.
Yep.
And when you cash out, tell me your philosophy there, because now people in the group are throwing around this 2-star philosophy.
Yeah, I'd never thought about that. I haven't messed around with it much since they started talking about that, but it does make sense. That third one is never really anything great.
Yeah.
Now, I distinctly remember Pat saying that third star is never anything great. It's usually something useless like weight reduction or a special enhancement. And I'm like, what the fuck? I love weight reduction, especially if you're an unarmed character and you're swinging around the Deathclaw gauntlet that weighs fucking 38 pounds. That thing has 90% weight reduction and a speed boost and a power attack 40% boost. That was my weapon for the last game, guys. It fucking shredded. It was amazing.
Yeah.
But if you have weight reduction on specific weapons, it is incredibly useful. And I know Will has a very hot take on this.
Well, yeah, I don't know if it's that hot, but I think I've decided, we talked about this before, that pure value, it is a 2-star way to trade in. And I think it's probably better just for lower level people that are trying to get up to a better weapon, but once you've already have like a few good weapons in your high level, you really want that third effect to come in good. Like I love, like, when you get like a gun or something that has the extra 25% fire rate or things like that. And like you just mentioned with Pat talking about, the weight reduction things, all 5 pieces of the armor I wear reduce weapon weight by 20%.
Mm-hmm.
So your weapons are literally weightless.
Well, except Bethesda math, it doesn't quite equal 0, but I do have like many that are like 0.04 pounds and things like that, and like I carry around all the time, like 120 weapons and stuff with me. So
Jesus, Will. Okay, this is something I've never actually thought about or asked about in Fallout, but in Skyrim, if you wear every piece of armor the same make, you get certain buffs and stuff. Is that applicable in Fallout too? Do they do that? If I'm wearing all combat armor, do I get some sort of extra, advantage? Do they do that in Fallout too?
Oh, I don't know.
Not in 76. I feel like they have in some previous games where you can get a full set buff of some kind, but definitely not in 76.
I feel like that's a missed opportunity, but I understand they always like to try to level the playing field. You know what I mean? I don't know how that would help,
But I like what you're saying there, Will. It's kind of like when you're coming up and you have slots that need filled, do the 2-star, get a whole lot to choose from. And it's kind of like, gambling at a regional table. And then when you've got decent equipment and you want to get that perfect piece that's going to slot in, it's the high stakes gambling. Most of it might not work, but when you get that right piece, It's the best.
Well,
Right.
so and I
exactly.
would also suggest that if you get to a point where you're going to go farming, in some of the legendary locations, once you get up enough script to buy a 3-star weapon and 3-star armor, even if you don't use them, have them in your inventory, because when you go farming, it will impact the number of 3-star drops you get from 3-star legendary.
That baffles me. Why? Why would you do that?
I don't know, but everything I've seen supports that.
It's kind of like the way when legendaries drop, you tend to get similar things in a row, and that might be because of the fact you're already carrying them. Like might attract like. I haven't seen that, but I totally trust Ray on this.
Yeah, I've heard that. Just what you're saying, like Jess, and I've experienced that a little bit myself. When like when I started playing around with bloodied weapons and stuff, I started carrying a bunch, and then next thing I know, it's like it's getting those drops, just bloodied.
Yep.
So
There's no empirical data, but anecdotally, I'm
Right.
100% sold that it works.
And
All
and
right,
you've
so-
played enough. You've played enough in like a concentrated way, especially recently, where you've seen these trends. It's not like you're only playing a couple hours a week and it's anecdotal. You're playing a lot more than that.
Yeah,
So,
and it's worked over 2 characters now. So
I was gonna say on the group when the question was asked, most everybody just talked about also just farming around White Springs or the other high ghoul areas. Get a lot of legendaries, turn them in for script. My biggest way, besides shopping at people's shops and looking for the occasional bargain, is when there's a nuke zone and I don't want to go in. I wait till just about the time the nuke zone's done, then I'll check the nearest train station. Because sometimes
yeah,
so talk me through that. What?
that used to work a lot lot better before the player
Or
vending.
Yeah.
but there's still a lot of lazy people,
Yeah.
like Andrew dropping some fat loot at his feet just because he doesn't want to carry it.
Yeah, I do that.
Well, and when I look at it, if I get a 1-star heavy weapon that's worth 80, 90 caps,
Yep.
to sell it, but only worth 5 script, I'm going to sell it.
Way better to sell. That's kind of the math that I
Yeah.
see people doing. Like at first, everybody was scrapping stuff, but I'm definitely still finding some in stores. So
Yeah.
that's my method, especially on a lower level character.
All right, Ray. So the threshold there was what again? 80 or 90 caps, and then you're selling everything above that?
Well, no. So usually the value of the heavy weapons are 200-300 caps, which means you're going to get 80 or 90 caps.
Yeah.
When you sell it. So if I'm only getting a 1-star legendary, but it's worth that kind of caps, I'll sell it instead of putting
just
it
a
in the
one
script
star.
machine.
Yeah, because a 1-star isn't worth the weight ratio hauling it around to wait till you drag it back to a legendary vendor. Okay.
Well, and I usually have to sit on legendaries for a few days. Because even like today, so yesterday I maxed out my legendaries. Today, I unloaded a bunch more, but I still have 150 worth of weapons and armor in my inventory, even though I didn't play today. Because every once in a while you'll get a server where almost every ghoul in Whiterun drops some legendary.
And you said that earlier, and that surprised me as well. It's like you think it's server dependent. It's not the same ratio every server, and some servers have almost every. And I was like, oh wow.
Yeah, and it sticks too, because I'll go back through several times, and the respawns are also carrying legendaries.
Yeah, those like it tends to like be throughout the server, not just even there at White Springs. Like a lot of times you just start going other places and they drop too. But obviously White Springs probably one of the best places to go with all the ghouls there. But there's I don't know why that exists. They just happen to have servers that seem to drop way more than others.
So what's
wait? And I haven't really seen it, because then I'll also go back to Fort Defiance, and you know, those aren't dropping legendaries.
Oh no. Oh. Yeah. You know, and also anecdotally, with what we were talking about just a minute ago with the like them dropping the certain type of weapons that you carry and all that stuff. This is something that I've noticed, or I feel like, and, you know, may not be true at all. But when I do go to Burgle, and I'll go, you know, I'll save up to like do 1,000 script at once, so I can just, you know, it's fun to get all the, you know, a whole bunch of new things. And I'll notice like that maybe, you know, like if I get a harpoon, you know, like first, like in one of the first one or two drops, then like that'll like seem to be repeating. Like I feel like she drops kind of based on the same thing too. Like so, if I feel like the first two or three aren't good, like I stop that whole
Yep.
transaction, and then I wait and I'll come back, and then, you know, because sometimes you start getting the explosive weapons or whatever, and then it's like, oh yeah, all my script are going right here. Yeah.
That is smart. Yeah, I've been there where I'm like, Burgle, my left leg is covered. You can stop now.
Yeah.
What is the vendor's real name? I have zero clue what it's called now.
I mean, she's technically legendary Vernder Mermerg. It's just Mermerg.
Yeah. The purveyor. Yeah.
Yeah.
The purveyor. There you go. I knew there was some kind of title. All right. So wasted on Nukashine, Ray.
Character introduction. Oh, okay. Were we going to
So
Yeah, Ray did his brief character introduction. When you guys jump in to help us out with the story, just give us a brief reminder of your character background too. And Ray, real quick, that anime stuff, that's not shit you made up. That's that.
yeah, it's real.
That's a real thing. Okay.
Yeah, you can watch it on Netflix. It's kind of fun.
And say the title again.
Batosai.
Batosai. How's that spelled?
Battosai.
Get on it, you anime fans. Yeah.
Fred
I
was a
asked my
fan.
son about it. He knew about it. So
I was gonna say, I'm
Oh,
probably.
you know, Leon is a fan.
I was gonna say I'm probably showing my ignorance that I bet anyone who watches anime at all is very familiar with this title already.
No, I don't think it's that popular. I think it's not the most. I think it might be a little bit
Right.
obscure.
Yeah. My son, right? Like he knows it all. Like he watches Crunchyroll like almost exclusively. So yeah, he knows all that.
I don't know what that is.
It's an anime network like Netflix.
Wow, that's pretty impressive. All right, guys. So let's get into a little bit of character introductions and wasted on Nukashine. Jess, you went over to the robot too?
Yeah. If we're gonna go back to character introductions, I'm playing Atticus Rex. Atticus is I'm playing her as the daughter of celebrity survivalists. She was a kid when they entered the vault, maybe 5 or 6. Got herself into all kinds of trouble. Very restless. Her biggest flaw would be her intelligence of 1, which has really become an impediment trying to create weapons and stuff with my assigned weapon. And she also uses explosives a lot. She's really high endurance. So that's basically, she's like a linebacker, you know, but she's also very adventurous and a little bit foolhardy and daring. So that's kind of her as a character.
Wonderful. I like that. Were her parents like? Did they have the Steve Irwin type TV show or something? Or
Yes, exactly. But as a couple, that's kind of what I was thinking. Where they go out and it'd be a little bit Bear Grylls. A little bit of on-site stuff. Here's what you eat. Here's how you cook. All that, and then they go to extreme locations. And so they encouraged her in the same mold for when she got out there. Extreme living.
Very nice. I like that. That's a really fun backstory. Very creative. I like that. Okay. So let's start walking through Wasted on Nukashine a little bit, and then we'll get into Will and Eddie's and their characters too. Ray, where are you going?
So like any good psycho, she was in the in the trading station and saw the poster for a rave, and she was in. So she headed off to Morgantown and crashed the fraternity party. Of course, everybody was dead.
I was gonna say.
But she did pick up a tinfoil hat off of the skeleton in the corner.
Oh, nice.
Is it
So-
always there?
I don't know. It was just there when she went there. So it's definitely a good place to look for hats because almost every skeleton in there has some hat on.
All right.
And so
Hats.
I'd never really noticed that before.
Some of those hats sell pretty well.
Yeah.
Civil War top hat is one I always grabbed in the Fashnacht. Where if you ran over to that place where they had like the black powder rifle and stuff, sometimes there'd be a top hat there. I'd always grab that and sell that shit.
Yeah. So she kind of poked around in the place and came across Ted Dorfman's, Theodore Party Animal Dorfman's terminal. And saw a note from him in there about Judy from the nerd fraternity, and told everybody not to mess with them because they had the best liquor going, and he was afraid to piss them off and have them leave without giving them any Nuka Shine.
Good to know nerds are valuable for something.
Yep. So at that point, you're prompted to drink the bottle of Nuka Shine, and enjoy the experience. And so everything starts turning colors. You also have an option to clear out the party crashers. If you're really low level, just stay upstairs. Because if you go down in the basement, it's full of ghouls. And otherwise you go down, take them all out. There's a pool table down there, so you can pick up all the pool balls for your plastic. And then eventually you black out, as as Nuka Shine does, and then you're transported to some random location. Oddly enough, I ended up in the same place I did the first time I ever did the Nuka Shine, which is out in the ash heap in a little trailer. Only this time there wasn't a big battle between a scorched beast and a bunch of mole miners, so I was able to fast travel out.
Nice. Yeah, I had kind of the same loop. Atticus saw the poster. I only did this on Sunday or Monday night, and she's lower level. She's 26 now, but definitely not Batosai level. And so it was a little more interesting for her. So she got in there, found the stuff, drank the Nuka Shine, and fought off all the party crashers. But she was very over encumbered at the time because I'm still in junk collection mode. So when she warped, she found herself on the east side of the Savage Divide, right near the edge of the mire at that one kind of picnic location. So she had to make her way back. I didn't want to drop stuff. I mean, I could have dropped stuff, but I didn't want to drop stuff. I had a lot of loot. So I made my way back towards Sunnytop Station to try to sell stuff, dodging and weaving and hiding from a scorched beast nearby at the fissure. And I ended up accidentally on the agility course that has all the booby traps.
Oh, at Sunnytop.
Yeah, exactly. I was just walking up and like, oh, there's a path, and suddenly mines are happening. I'm like, what is that? And I dodged, and it took like by the second or third explosion to trap me to realize where I was.
Yeah.
But she survived and made it back to cell. Is this anyone's first time doing this? Will or Eddie, did you do the Wizard of Nuka Shine before?
Oh yeah, I've done it before.
I've done it before. I did not do it with this character yet. I'm going to. This is the one I'm purposely waiting on. Because we're doing the community thing. Mark with a W.
Mhm.
He told me, but I'm sworn to secrecy. I'm sorry. And anyways, he had the idea, since there was like a frat party, going on, that we're kind of gonna all get together and have the frat party. We like a lot of people got together and decorated Sarah's house, and she wants to have she had been talking, I want to have a party at my house, So we're gonna do a frat party at Sarah's camp and do the Wasted on Nuka Shine
And are you
quest
gonna
as like a community thing.
wait? And so hold on the nuke shine. Everybody go to the party at Sarah's house. Chat and there.
Yeah, I guess we'll have to figure that out. I know, I was thinking it's a shame because I know, on the patch that's going to be coming out soon, they fixed the punch bowls so that you could add put all your favorite liquor or whatever in there.
Mm.
Yeah, so we won't be able to have the punch bowl with the Nuka Shine in it, but
So just
I
make
thought they
sure
were-
the person recording is the last one to drink,
oh yeah.
so that you can watch everybody just disappear through the haze of the rainbow images.
That would be awesome. I tried taking some pics while I was under the influence of Nuka Shine this
Yeah.
time, and the color does affect everything. So it's great for taking pics too.
Oh.
If you want to set something up and wait for the right moment.
Hey, Eddie, why don't you give us a brief reminder of your character?
Sure.
And,
My character is Josiah, or Mama Joe, as she was known to most of the people in the vault. She worked in the food services division of the vault. Never really too tough of a job. And coming out of the vault, she doesn't have any strength. Her strength is 1, which I'm struggling with because all my other characters have been high strength. And she's got high intelligence, which has been nice, racking up the XP.
She barely had the carry weight to pick up bioluminescent material.
Yeah, that killed me the other night. And not a whole lot I can carry.
You are
Okay.
over encumbered by lightning bugs.
Yeah. Get to those backpacks quick.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna have to start doing. I'm gonna start doing the tadpole quests here pretty quick.
No, that's a great topic. You have a strength of 1. How do you overcome that? What are the strength foods? What are the strength drugs? What are the strength buffs and clothing? Whatever, I guess backpacks. Like, what is everything Eddie needs to know? Eddie.
Yeah, I always head for Flatwoods and get some ribeyes, and there's
Okay,
always
ribeyes your food. Is there let's see, I think whiskey is the beverage that does a strength boost.
2 strength. Yeah.
So you do a steak and some whiskey. That sounds like
Yeah.
a nice evening. Actually.
Use the party girl perk for the whiskey to double that or triple it. Yeah.
Okay, party girl card. Are you getting that one, Eddie?
I'm working on getting that one. Yep.
Perfect. All right. All right. So then he can pop a Kim as well. What doing Psycho? What is the strength one? Is there
Psycho buff.
Psycho buff out. Buff out's the strength.
Yeah.
one. Such a dummy. Yeah.
But so buff out is 2. Psycho buff is 3.
Okay. So that's your Kim. You're going to pop a Psycho buff. What else? Let's see. Your backpack will increase your carry weight. Not necessarily your strength, but your carry weight.
You can maybe get lucky with like some armor or a weapon that increases your strength.
Well, yeah, I'm wearing the Enclave Under Armor that's fully maxed out right now, and I think that's
Oh.
at 3.
And let's see. Deep pocketed clothing or armor, right?
Yeah, that's what me and Ray were talking about the other night. Maybe I can put some deep pocketed on some of my armor to jack up its carry weight some more.
I'm interested to see what max you can do with the strength of 1. That'll be an interesting experience. Just to stack everything that you can.
We'll see what I can get carry weight up to by the time this is all done.
Yeah, that'll be great. Good experiment.
Well, and as long as it still works, you can you can stack food.
Mm-hmm.
So
Oh, can
you can do, yeah.
Type
What
10.
Not necessarily the same kind. They're like different types of
like
it.
ribeye, and with the strength enhancements. Yeah, as long as a different kind, it'll stack. You can just
Oh.
Okay.
Okay. So it has to be different kinds of food, and then the strength will actually. Okay, that makes sense. Cool. Will, did you tell us about your character yet?
Oh, no, I can. My character is a male named Rebecca, which that was a nickname because his full name is Rob Eckhart, which grandson or nephew to Thomas Eckhart, who's the Secretary of the Agriculture and kind of leader of the Enclave. That's how he got in the vault because his uncle's connections, and he's super defensive about his family. His grandfather was Joseph Eckhart Sr., and he founded Eckhart Unlimited. This is like the part that's real Fallout lore. But and at the height of the resource wars, he declared his loyalties to communist China and moved over there, and that's one of the reasons Thomas Eckhart became so like intensely motivated to eradicate communism that he was resorting to just any kind of method that he could. So that's why he seems unscrupulous. But you can't tell that to Rebecca because that's his uncle and he loves him, and so he has a luck of 15, and the charisma, because he is so defensive about his family and all that stuff and everything. His charisma is 1, so that's the hard part there. He ended up, in a fight in a vault. He ended up with a big scar over his left eye, defending his uncle and stuff like that. He's strength is 6, but it's assigned to shotgun as his ranged weapon. So I'm trying to use the shotgun for that, and we'll see how that goes. So, yeah. And that's basically what he's doing when he gets out the vault. Is he's of course he's going to go through all these quests and stuff, but he's looking to find out, like kind of redeem his family, because while he was in the vault, he'd heard word that his uncle was missing or he died or something like that. So he's trying to find out the true story and get into purifying. I can't think of the right word. Just rectifying the family name. Like making the Eckhart name good again. But he goes by Rebecca. Like that was the thing. When he was a kid, like a teacher called him. Like it was column roll, and they were like Rob Eckhart. And one of the friends, they said like, "Oh, it sounds like Rebecca," and so they started calling him Rebecca, and that's been his name ever since.
All right. Sometimes when I'm mixing these episodes, it's like 2 in the morning, and I'm like super sleepy, and I'm not sure did I take the time to look up that stupid South Park song and drop it in an episode? Did I?
Oh, you did. Yes. Yeah. You did. Yeah.
All right. Sorry about that. That was a bad move, I think.
No, it was funny, I thought.
Oh, man. So Eddie, did you have any fun adventures with Wasted on Nukashine?
Pretty much just the standard. I didn't even wake up anywhere exciting. I was in the forest region. Even it wasn't even exciting for me. I was really looking for a new place to wake up.
Can you literally wake up anywhere, or are there like 10 spaces?
I think there's probably more than 10, but yeah, there's certain places where you wake up, generally speaking.
Yeah, they did add some, but yeah, it's fixed.
And you can tell where they're going to be because they're usually tipped over Nukashine bottles in the places near where you can wake up now. So as you're wandering Appalachia, if you see a tipped over Nukashine bottle in a tableau, that might be a place you could wake up.
One time I woke up at a nice tea party that had a lot of good hats around there.
Yeah.
That's a good spot.
So after we transported, Will, did you have anything different on the way getting there?
No.
Okay. So the next part of the quest says you have to read the label. Read the label on the Nukashine bottle, which was kind of interesting because the fact that after you drink it, the label goes in inventory, that seems weird. But there is a riddle on there. Do you want me to read that here just so people hear it?
Oh, it's like a Bazooka Joe comic. Yeah.
Yeah, not quite as clever as that. No, but
Or a Snapple lid or something. This is fun. Yeah, read it to us.
okay. At our alma mater stands a boy, gray and cold. The steps behind him are the first threshold. Around the right corner, study the street. Just to the left is the place that we meet.
All right.
There you can stain your skin with ink, but find the back door, and we'll get you a drink.
Oh, nice. All right, so the boy gray and cold. My mind immediately jumps to a statue of Vault Boy or whatever his name is. Is it Vault Boy?
And your mind is correct.
Yeah.
And it says at our alma mater, which makes sense because this is being sold at Vault Tech University.
Yeah. Yeah. Makes me think of college. So we're off to, where is that? Morgantown then, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep, which is where you are already. Well, where you were before you had your Nuka Shine and partied across the wasteland.
Yeah. So you just got to go back.
And since we've all done this before, we all probably knew where to go. But the first time, I remember standing at the positioning myself, looking here and there, trying to figure out, okay, there are the steps, the right corner. Well, which right is it? And figuring that out. And it will lead you to a Big Al's tattoo parlor. And the front door is all blocked off, but if you make your way to the back, yes, there is a door there that you can go into.
Not to backtrack too much, but when you're making the jump after the Nuka Shine blackout, I kind of got oh god, am I gonna Sheogorath? What the fuck is that name?
Sheogorath? Yeah.
Sheogorath?
The god of the Daedric Lord of Madness.
Am I making the right is that the right one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. So in Skyrim, you had some drinks at a bar, right? It wasn't a drinking contest or something, was it? I don't know.
Yeah. That's the quest where you end up at the Temple of Dibella. I mean, spoilers for another game from 2011, but I think what is that? What is
Yeah,
that?
that's the one where you get the staff.
Oh, I love that staff.
It's not. Sheogorath has the Wabbajag.
Yep.
That's the one that turns things into the.
For bunny is in.
Sam, what is his name? Sam Gwyn.
Yeah, that's
do a drinking contest and
yeah.
You steal that sheep and
steal the sheep.
Glut of the goat.
All right, I remember now. Man.
Giant. That's
very Raven.
But that's the staff that conjures Daedra. That'll fight for you. Sanguine.
Oh, the Sanguine Rose.
Sanguine Rose.
Those are both great.
I always
dual wield those and run around. That's great.
But yeah, you're totally right. There are shades of that in this quest. The blacking out, the waking up somewhere else, the screen dimming. I can totally see that.
So anybody land anywhere super interesting? Sounds like no. And I didn't do it this time. I did do it once when the quest first dropped. But all right, Jess, I interrupted. Continue on where you were. Sorry.
Oh no, I'm good. I thought where I landed was kind of interesting, but just because of the fact that I was higher level and over encumbered. But and I know you're not quite as big of a fan of Biv as some of us, but a lot of us love him. And you get a little tired of his phrases after a while. But so you walk through the door. You walk through the door at Big Al's tattoo parlor, and you're immediately greeted with a shouting voice from somewhere. And you start searching around, and you try to find where to go, and eventually you realize that or you might already know, that the Nuka Shine machine, the Nuka-Cola machine, is actually a door down to a speakeasy downstairs.
Yeah, the first time, it took me a very embarrassingly long amount of time to figure that out. Do they leave you clues around?
Yeah, you can read Alice's terminal. Alice is Big Al.
Mm-hmm.
And she mentions, to her staff that, that business hasn't been good enough to keep them afloat. And so she's rented out the cellar to a bunch of people from the from the college, and they gave her so much money that she's moved to Tahiti. And it says, "Don't move the Nuka-Cola machine. It's not what it looks like." And so if you read that, then you go over and
Wow.
look at the Nuka-Cola machine. You open it up, and the door opens down to the basement.
Yeah, that's lesson number one in these games. Whenever they tell you not to do something, immediately run over and go do that thing.
Right.
All right.
So,
So,
and then the next time you're in Tahiti, look up Big Al.
just knock on the Nuka-Cola machine over there.
Mhm.
Fine.
So it's actually a really great location when you get down there. It's got some good ambiance. It's got purple lights over by the bed, and it's a full working speakeasy, which is really cool. But for the quest, you follow the noise of the shouting robot, and sounds a little bit like Bender. There's a little bit of a Bender in there.
Nice.
But some funny quotes. And you go in back, and there is a Robo Brain. Although his brain casing is a little bit greener than average, and he's wearing a nice tuxedo, or a painted-on tuxedo. And that's when he tells you all about Nuka Shine, which was the drink you discovered they were drinking at the party.
Love that Nuka Shine.
And one thing I noticed that my character's a female, and he continually refers to her as doll.
So trashy.
He's just getting into that whole speakeasy vibe.
Mhm.
At least it's not broad. I appreciate that.
All right. So, if I remember right, don't you have to? Gosh.
So at that point, he gives you the ingredient list,
Okay.
but he tells you that he accidentally tore it, and part of it's in the supply room.
And so you have to figure out how to get into the supply room, and I assume that they give you some sort of bullshit that you can't get into the supply room immediately.
A whole lot of bullshit. Yeah, if you read the half you have, it's got the stuff you expect. It's got the corn and the grain, and I think there's something else, but it's ripped off. And so you find out he left in the supply room, but you go to the computer to get into the supply room, and it is locked down by Judy. Now you've heard the name Judy before off Ted's terminal, and that's when the quest objective updates and it lets you know you need to discover the password at Ada Psi House, which is the Et Pets, the nerd fraternity or sorority. Actually, hey, what does it mean when it's a co-ed fraternity? Is there a name for that?
Fraternity.
Yeah. So maybe there isn't. Anyway, I just thought it was kind of cool that it was co-ed.
Sorority.
So that's the Ada Psi, or Et Pets as they call them. So you have to make your way to the Et Pet house, back out fighting those Morgantown ghouls, which is pretty low level for most of us, to find the location.
And that's a pretty handy spot if you're doing the possum collectors merit badge, because it's got it has a Nuka-Cola Quantum, Nuka-Cola Dark, Nuka-Cola Wild, and a Nuka-Cola Orange.
That's most of them.
And a cherry if you hit it before anybody else does.
Yeah, because every time I've gone in there, the quantum's been missing. So I didn't think there was actually a quantum there, because you're going to find out soon that that's the secret missing ingredient.
I wonder if it's a little random, because I found a grape in there last night when I went in there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had everything but quantum when I went.
Yeah. So if you're doing that collector's one, right? One of the badges is called. Is that the collector's badge, Ray? That you do all that?
Yeah.
For? Yeah. Just respawn in that, server hop right there in that spot. Good plan.
Yeah. And then coming up later, we'll be in a spot where you can collect a bunch of teddy bears. So
Yeah. The pets have all kinds of board games. They probably did podcasts about video games, stuff like that. They're that kind of crew.
Well, they have probably one of the coolest chess sets you'll see in any video game. It's all robots.
Oh, nice.
Are all the pieces. So the iBots are the pawns, and so on and so forth. And it's also good for about 30 steel.
Oh, the pieces? Nice.
Yep. Collect them all up, and each one is 1 steel.
I can't wait till they let us display stuff. I'd like to display the little chest.
Oh yeah, that'd be one of the first things I did.
Yeah, that's really cool.
But so you go into the basement, you'll see a note from Judy, talking to, now I can't remember his name, but the kid that came up with the Nuka Shine, scolding him for doing stuff and not telling her about it and disappearing.
Yeah, his name is Lewis, and it's kind of funny because here you discover that he is a Nuka-Cola fiend, and that's why he has a collection. There's even a note saying, "When you asked for extra space, Lewis, we didn't know you'd be using it for your obsession." Because this whole side room with all the Nuka-Cola stuff. But what's hilarious about this whole Nuka Shine thing, if you read through his notes, was predicated on the fact that he needed money to be able to afford a warehouse in another part of Morgantown so he could store more of his collection because he's running out of room. So that's when he said, how am I going to make money? And I don't remember the exact note, but it's like, out of college, what do college kids need? Alcohol. What's my favorite thing? Nuka-Cola. Let's make an alcoholic beverage with Nuka-Cola. And that's how Nuka Shine was born.
So it doesn't really explain, what the secret ingredient is, but because you've already got Nuka-Cola Quantum on the ingredients list. So you go up the stairs into the top floor, and that's where Judy's terminal is. And in there, you can read about how the first time she was in the speakeasy, she had the shit scared out of her by Biv, because she didn't know, she didn't know why there was a robo brain, in their basement. And then also you have, well, she has a message in there about how, this is making the et pets cool, and she doesn't think it'll last forever, but she's going to enjoy it while she can. And then also the password for the storage room.
And therein lies the crux of what we're looking for there. Sweet.
And the password is Shine, which knowing that isn't going to help you because you only know it once you find the note.
Yep.
Oh, that sucks.
It's one of those. No keypad or anything.
Yeah.
It's I like how she's talking about how the et pets are finally cool. It actually brought me back to that classic 80s movie Revenge of the Nerds, and they're having their like lambda 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 and omega mu moment there. Okay,
so after the awkward pause, so you go back to the storeroom, punch in the code, and there on the table is the last part of the ingredient list, and it's nuclear material. So exactly how he ended up adding nuclear material, it's not really clear. I guess he couldn't quite get the right flavor with the moonshine and the quantum, but that's the secret ingredient. And so now you've got 3 canisters in the room there, that you can pick up, and now you're able to make your very own Nuka Shine.
Yeah, and that's why the room's on lockdown, because if people knew the secret ingredient, there'd probably be a bit of an uproar. Or maybe there wouldn't, because it gave you a pretty good buzz.
Oh man, some good radiation there. Lots of nuclear material in your soda.
There's already some in quantum to begin with, so.
That's true. Strontium 51, 53, but yeah.
Crazy.
So you head over to the brewing station and whip up a bottle. And so now you've got to ferment it before you can give it to Biv. Normally, that would be a long, drawn-out process, but fortunately, there's an experimental fermenter with a warning note that says, "Don't use this." So, what do? You load your Nuka-Cola Quantum into the experimental fermenter, and it blows up.
Kaboom!
But you've got your Quantum, or you've got your Nuka Shine, rather. And then you give it to Biv.
And
When
does
Biv
it have good reactions.
Yep. So he, glug, glug, glug. And so interestingly enough, even though he drinks some of it, you have a full bottle left when he's done. So, so now the quest completes, and you can build a brewing station and a fermenter at your camp.
Yeah, I see the reward list here was the brewing station plan, the fermenter plan, 1 bottle of Nuka Shine, 150 caps, and 500 XP. Are the 150 caps or the 500 XP affected by charisma or?
They're affected by.
They're both be charisma.
They're affected by well rested and stuff, because I think it was 523 when I got it. So I'm not sure. I had slept ahead of time.
Nice. Good deal. Oh, and yeah, I need to be, I used to be better at it. I need to remember to be better about it. I always carried the cranberry cobbler with me when I was cashing in quests. I would try to eat cobbler before to give myself a little extra boost there. People are
except not cranberry relish, the one you if you can craft that.
Is that even higher than the cobbler?
Yeah, it's 10%.
What? Yeah. And that is, does it have the gourd? Is that the reason it's rare? Because the gourds are kind of...
Yeah, it has gourd and sugar, I think.
Oh, good lord.
But the sugar is easy to get because, you go down that little stream and get a bunch of snaptail reed.
Yeah, right there from south of Big Al's Tattoos, actually. Run down that stream, everybody. Get all the snaptail. Get yourself some sugar. Yeah, I had a big loop I was doing for a while when I was thinking that I could make a bunch of s'mores, and that would be a big thing. So I was thinking, oh, hey, I'll make a bunch of s'mores, and I'll put them in my vending machine, and people who are doing that backpack thing where you have to eat 3 s'mores will just be like, oh, God, I'll just buy 3 of these. I didn't price them very high or anything. I wasn't gouging people. No one bought a fucking single s'more. It was so disappointing.
Well, I guess you're dependent on people being on that quest when they go to your vending machine, right?
Yeah.
Right then, or they may not know about it.
But I expect the s'more to be one of those annoying things. It was so annoying because you had to have concrete, and it's just...
Yeah, it was a pain in the butt to make.
So I made so many of them. I had like 120 of them at one point. I made so many of them, but they spoiled fairly quickly. So I had good with salt on and everything, and I would only put a few in the vending machine and keep the rest of them on me. Then I realized, fuck, I don't have the food cart on me. Most of my inventory is going to be taken up by fucking s'mores. What am I doing? So I got rid of all my s'mores. They spoiled and stuff like that. So it was so sad to watch them spoil.
That's laid plans.
Yeah.
It's just like my excavator supply unit down there at the. That was just the most pathetic excuse for a store ever. Oh, I had like 4 visitors out of people would in our group. It was great, your Facebook people group here, and then they would come down and they would pity me and they'd visit, and I could see behind my back they were snickering, but they were visiting out of the kindness of their hearts. And people would buy stuff, but it was really the shittiest location I could have ever picked. It was the worst to try to sell stuff. The only place it could be worse is like right by that, where the Scorch Beast Queen like pops out there, that fissure site. If I
get nuked all the time.
there, if I just get nuked all the time, like, hey, come visit everybody, hey, or get killed by the queen, whatever, yeah.
Yeah. Well, there's even some kind of an ore site there, a collection spot. You think, who in the hell's going to build their camp right here? It's going to get nuked constantly.
I wish I could set up a T-shirt shop. It's just like I got killed by the Scorch Beast Queen, and all I got was this lousy T-shirt. Visit Scorch Beast Queen land.
So once everything completes, you also get a notification that you come back the next day, and he'll have some more recipes for you. And so you get a repeatable quest, that'll come up every day.
That's actually,
if you go back and see him.
That's one of the big reasons why I put it early on the schedule, because not only does it take place in a low-level area, like most of us did it when we were higher level. So I'm like, what will it be like doing it when you're lower level? Will it affect it at all? And also now you have a repeatable if you're looking for something else to do to level up and trying to avoid doing the other side quests.
So he sends you out to find, just like you did before, you have to like put everything together and go find the ingredients and stuff. He gives you a place where you go pick up a recipe, and then you have to go pick up the ingredients and then come back and make stuff, or how's that work?
Well, there's 2 different kinds.
Mm-hmm.
There's the one where he'll give you a recipe and you go make it and bring it back to him after you've fermented it. The other one is he'll give you something that you need to drink and then do something to either test your strength, your perception, and so on and so forth.
And another one of those alcohols is also really good for the carry weight. That rat ant lager gives you 50 carry weight.
So good.
In that one.
Yeah, but you do have to be really careful because the hangover on that is minus 50 carry weight.
Oh, is it? Oh, shit. Okay.
Yep.
Well, that's like you have a bunch of stuff. You just try to get back to camp.
But it only lasts for a few minutes.
Ray, can you hair of the dog it and avoid the
drink another one? Break even.
Just keep going with them.
Yeah.
Get addicted, but who the fuck cares? Just keep them up. Constant supply. I know it's probably annoying as hell to make. It's probably more annoying to make that than a s'more, right?
Yeah, because you're always having to chase down ants.
Oh,
yeah,
fuck that.
They're not very common.
But at least it doesn't spoil.
Especially when they're, if they're part of a challenge. Because I still swear that, whenever they have something on a challenge, they only instance one somewhere on the map. Like chicken. Got to take a picture of a chicken. There's no chickens anywhere.
So. Well, they took away Fashionox. There was a ton of chickens, man.
Yeah, that's because there was never a challenge to take a picture of a chicken.
Yeah. Get your cameras early too, kids. Take pictures of all those things as you go. You need a lot of them for that photography badge or whatever. All right, anybody got anything else for Wasted on Nukashine?
So it was nice. Just as I started to do that quest, one of the dailies was to kill ghouls with 3 different weapons. So you had to kill them with a meat hook, an axe, and I think maybe a machete. And so I ran over to the Morgantown airport. It fired off the delivery quest there, killed a bunch of ghoul or a bunch of scorched, and was able to get a machete, a meat hook, and a all-purpose axe. Ran out and killed the ghouls with each one of them, and boom, got my my set of atoms for that. I think it was 20 atoms.
Great.
Yeah, the only other
So,
thing about Viv is it's when you start doing his repeatables, you'll very quickly get the Greek letters, the fraternity letters, and that can be really cool because it's the first easily attainable letters plan in the game. It's limited, you end up spelling things like bottom or what have you, but they're easy to get.
That's fun. Thank you, Pat, for the bottom signing. Very nice. And do you guys find yourself including the Biv repeatables in your daily routine?
I did for a long time. I haven't done it in a while though.
Yeah.
Yeah, when it came out on Ron, he did it probably 15, 20 times, but then we just kind of stopped.
Yeah, I don't do it as much either.
Is there an end game to it? Is there like you have to collect all of these recipes, but then here, blah 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 blah. Here is the recipe, the epic. Is there something like you're working towards, like with that new challenge battle mode, whatever it's called, nuclear winter? Like you earn those things. Is there? I assume you're earning these recipes and being able to craft all these different alcohols. Is there an epic end game alcohol recipe?
I don't,
I
believe
don't
there
think
is.
so.
No,
I was just trying to get all the recipes, and once I obtained that, it's like, well, now why would I keep doing it?
Yeah.
What is the other go test out stuff? I assume you test out all the different alcohols while doing different things too. So it looks like both of those, even though they would still spawn, you could finish each of them.
Yeah, you can do quite a few.
They're pretty easy. I mean, sometimes they don't pop. Like I remember, especially when it first came out, like agility, you have to do a sneak attack, or luck, you have to land a critical hit, and they wouldn't always register at first. They might be better now, but back when we were doing them, sometimes it took hopping servers multiple tries to get it to pop. But it's an easy 300 experience, so it's worth doing. But I think people stop because of the loading screens, and they're just more interesting things after you've done it a couple times.
Absolutely. Sweet. So that was wasted on Nuka Shine. We will move on to personal matters, and this is sort of the background story that we'll visit in the first few episodes of the season. With the Overseer, we're going to sort of hear her personal story. So I say we just go ahead and jump right into it here.
So this one's kind of interesting because if you don't go anywhere near the ag center, you'll never start this. I mean, you might. So one of the other things is, so you could go right to the end, pick up the last tape, and finish the quest.
Oh, that's interesting.
You don't have to do every step along the way. One doesn't unlock the other. But yeah, unless you go anywhere near the ag center. Now, typically if you're just starting out and you're running around Flatwoods, you'll get the fertile soil quest, which will take you into the ag center, and then it'll pop up and say search the Vault-Tec Ag Research Center, and that's when you find the holotape on the counter.
I think they're pretty much counting on people Flatwoods being the first town, people exploring it fully. And fertile soil is the event that pops probably the very most on the entire map, right? And maybe that's why.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and take a listen to Journal 1.
Overseers, let's call these personal journals. Not an official log, just something for me. The Agricultural Center, one of my first posts with Vault Tech. I was so excited because I used to come to this same farm when I was a kid. I remember one year at the Autumn Festival, me running through the corn maze, going every which way, Mom and Dad yelling after me to slow down. Wasn't gonna happen. I guess I was always hitting life fast. Couldn't just be a pioneer scout. I had to make troop leader. Couldn't just be a good student. I had to have straight A's. God, I miss those early days. Being a kid, the three of us, our simple life, our simple house. No wonder it's still standing.
If you heard that, I just plugged my audio cable into my game controller and to rip that audio. But if you heard it, I didn't turn off the game sound effects or anything, but you hear like the building in the background. You hear like the creepy like creaking and the building settling. The building sort of like half collapsed in the corners and stuff. It's really kind of a fun building, really creepy.
I have a somewhat like a question just about the agricultural center itself, not so much a personal matters thing. Well, for the fertile soil event that leads to it, it's that's how I got to the same way. Just fertile soil event popped and I went in there. I forgot I wasn't even trying to get to it, but it's the point of that is like those robots. They're supposed to keep the crops growing at all costs or whatever, and they're looking for compost and all this stuff to to feed the crops, and they're like they've even included humans, and that's why they're hostile to humans also. They're looking to like just decompose the bodies into like feeding the plants.
And you are compostable.
Yeah, so that's the thing is we're trying to reset. I had missed that the first time. I wasn't sure if that's what that was actually about.
Yeah, that's what it's about. And when you finish it up, you're removing humans from the possible compost list.
Yeah,
So,
okay.
take it back out. I assume they get desperate. Now, one thing that's kind of funny about the Ag Center is you'll notice the compost bins around the outside and then inside are labeled steel. So I always felt like maybe they wanted it to trigger after people took all the compost and the handies were out, the farmhands were out and were looking for more. But I don't know if that was left over for something else they planned on doing, if that was actually supposed to be a trigger, because it triggers all the time anyway.
Yeah.
Anybody else have anything on the Ag Center there? We can move on to tape 2.
One of the good things about I felt about this is that it humanizes the overseer for you almost right away in the story. You get a little bit of that when you sneak into your office and get the first tape, and they're like, well, obviously you're listening to this, and talks about your initiative and how you should follow her. But it definitely humanizes her, and that's what I like about this whole story is you learn a lot about the woman you're following, who your character was following in the vault for all these years.
And there are sort of like 2 different lines. There's like the overseer's log and the overseer's journal.
Mm-hmm.
With 2 separate things. One of them main questish, right? And or side quest. This one more of a storyline here. So we're off to Sutton, right? She grew up in Sutton. Anybody have any interesting tidbits? That Sutton's not a place I frequent very much. It is in Raider territory, if I remember right. Anybody have any good Sutton stuff?
No, not much. I mean,
there's not a whole lot there to see, really.
Yeah, Sutton and Sutton. I mean, you see it a ton in Nuclear Winter now because it's part of the Nuclear Winter map. And the great thing about Sutton is it gives you, up until the update, it was a place to sell more stuff for caps because it was a different faction. So having that one train station on this side of the Savage Garden meant that you could go in there and, sell another 200 caps. But now it doesn't matter as much. It has a good atmosphere, has some neat stories in the church. I love the Raider camp. I love the Raider camp with the outhouse on top of the cell, so the Raiders would, do their business on top of the prisoners.
Are we finding scorched or super mutants here? Who's taking over the town?
It is all scorched at this point.
Perfect.
And mole rats, but they're everywhere. Ankle biters.
Ankle biters. All right.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen anything but scorched there.
Perfect. Let's see what the overseer remembers about her childhood home.
Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad. I'm home. Sorry it's been so long, but I couldn't get away. I know neither of you is around to hear this, but I miss you. I miss watching Dad grade papers on the living room table. I miss the three of us huddled around the radio, listening to the Silver Shroud. Dad, you were right about what living underground would really be like. 25 years locked in with the same people was a challenge. But watching them pair up, get married, have children, well, I think I got to know a little bit of what you and Mom were always telling me. Well, since I'm doing this whole trip down memory lane, maybe a walk over to the old high school is in order.
Is she going over to Morgantown High School after that, or we're not going to Watoga, are we?
Yeah, it's Morgantown, I think.
Good. Not ready for Watoga yet. Actually, I probably am. The robots will attack me though. Ugh.
Yeah, back to that old grind.
Yeah, got to get that that quest done. But I always needed a buddy to help me. If I'm under like level 50 or whatever, that quest is mayor for a day. That's tough.
Yeah, that last battle's a rough one.
Yeah, we got that right near the end of the season here to do, so I'm sure we'll come up with ways to
Wait,
take care of it.
I'm glad you put it near the end.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you want to be level 50 anyways for that one. At
Oh
least.
yeah, the weapon. I think that we tried to put most of the cool weapon level ones, that are dependent upon your level. I think we put a lot of those near the end of the season.
To an extent, the one exception here is a cold case. Getting that machine gun leveled, if you're up, around level 50, I think is probably the best way to get it. It's a 2-star machine gun, I think. It's what is it, fiery and maybe furious. I remember really liking it, but I'm at high level.
I liked it too. I got it too early with one character, so it was only like level 20 or something like that. But yeah, get that level 50, and that'd be a fucking great weapon, right?
So on the in the overseer's house, I like you meet her family. It's a homey home here in Sutton. Did you guys notice in her room? Obviously, there's a lot of cool collectibles. There's some Mr. Fuzzy, a number of things. Did you take a look at the diploma on the wall?
Oh yeah, the VTU diploma.
Yep, I thought it was really cool looking at that because you can learn a bit more about her there too. You can see that she majored in nuclear fusion. She was in the nuclear fusion.
Oh, okay.
Lab. So that's one of the many reasons why she was perfect for this, finding the nuclear silos, understanding how that worked. Also, you can technically see her special scores if you look at it. I opened up my 76. Yeah, I opened up my 76 captures folder while we were talking.
Okay.
That. And I did take a picture of it back in the beta, actually. This one's labeled Fallout 76 beta, but I got a copy of it. She got 4 points in expression. She got 3 points in commercial geography, some in domestic art, 16 points in nuclear fusion, and then you see her special scores. And it looks like her highest stat might be luck. It's either luck or agility. They don't line up quite right.
Well, that's really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was really interesting that you're seeing all these courses and then it
Yeah.
ends with strength, luck, agility, endurance, perception, intelligence, and they put numbers next to them.
Yeah, that's neat that you did that. I noticed a diploma, but I didn't look at it that closely. It's interesting. I just noticed she was a ski enthusiast, but yeah.
I was trying to see if I could figure out the signatures on it. See if there's anything fancy. One of them looks like it could say Einon Zer, which would be funny, but but I can't tell who they're supposed to be, so they're probably just
The composer of
Yeah.
the music? The theme song. Wait. Oh,
Yeah.
Anybody have anything else for personal matters and the overseer's business? Eddie, tell me about your leader of the pack experience.
That is the one I can't get to pop.
Tell me about
tried. I've gone through that area back and forth and back and forth.
Tell me about your path to enlightenment experience.
Oh, the path to enlightenment. I made the mistake. I've done that a few times with this character now. I accidentally did it without even realizing it was on the list when we were in survival mode that first weekend.
Oh, nice.
And then I did it the other night again. And like we were talking about, I get over encumbered trying to carry all that bioluminescent fluid up the steps.
Well, it started off with the thing started, but Eddie and I were at the Gorge junkyard, and all of a sudden this rad toad comes hopping up, and when we killed it, it had bioluminescent fluid on it.
It came all the way down the hill.
Yeah, like wait a minute. How come this has the fluid in it? And we looked on the map, and sure enough, the quest had been started.
Cool. Yeah, and that fluid's heavy though too. I understand that. Like, cause I know for a while, when I was trying to for the tadpole badges, I kept trying to get that one, the Path to Enlightenment one. Do it by myself, and that's a really hard quest to do by yourself, to get all those bugs everywhere. And so sometimes I was trying to hang on to that bioluminescent fluid, wait for it to pop again, but I just
it's spoiled.
It wasn't happening.
Quickly. Yeah, when you see that quest pop off and you fast travel there, you get a old timey radio voice telling you about the Mothman and gather around, and you start picking off the fireflies and the rad toads to pick up the bioluminescent fluid to summon the Mothman.
The few times I attempted it, I'd never actually have successfully done it with this character yet.
If you can catch it early enough, you can do it by yourself. But
great, I'm glad you just said that, because the time is the issue. The 3 times that I've shown up, I've had like 2 or 3 minutes left, and then the one good show that. Who was with us, Jess? We
were on with Pat. It was Pat, you and I, and we actually were at the Gorge junkyard and had a toad come by while we were playing with blueprints, and he had bioluminescence. So we had the exact same start as you guys, but when we got there, 5 minutes on the clock, or maybe 4:50.
Well, we had 3 of us, so we had a shot.
Well, we almost did.
But
and if you don't get toads, there's no way to do it. I mean, you just can't get enough one firefly at a time.
With us, we were so close. Pat made 1 or 2 drops of stuff, and I ran up. It was up to like 20 or so. I had 19, so I got up there, made a drop, and I got up there with like 27 seconds to spare. I was trying to live on the edge, and then at about 20 seconds, I see Andrew running towards the base and trying to sprint up. And I'm watching the ticker, and I see him emerge through the door onto the balcony as it hits 0, and quest failed.
Okay, kids, this is a good lesson. I'm super antisocial in real life, and at sometimes I just like to play without the headsets. Jess and I, like when we play, sometimes we don't use the headset, so we just sort of are using the Xbox chat app to send messages back and forth to see what we're doing. But I think that was one of these nights where we didn't have headsets on. And this is an event that is helpful to have a headset on, because here is my philosophy. I was like, okay, I'm going to collect 15. No, there's 3 of us. I'm going to collect 20 just to be sure I have enough. And I collected 15 fairly quickly. It was the last 5 that fucked me in the end. And so like I was like, I should have had my headset on, so I could have just asked you guys, how many of you put in, well, how many do we need, whatever. It should tick them off as you put them in at the top, but my server was being slow or something, so it wasn't being
it is slow.
It's such a balancing act. I was pretty sure we weren't going to make it anyway. When I ran in hopelessly, because it was only showing 12 to 15 at that point that I started running towards it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I've only got 19. We're never going to make it. So I felt the same as you.
So if I would have not gone for the final 5, though, we would have been fine. We would hit it, because you had 19, and you said Pat had 2 drops, and I would have had my 15. So that probably actually would have been enough.
Yep.
Yeah, you're right. Communication does work because when I did it, like I was with Dwight and Jen for this, and so we were just, we were all on mics, and we were just like, all right, how many do you have? Yeah, how many do you have? And I was like, all right, I got 13. Okay, I have 17.
Yeah.
And so we didn't even worry about drops because you spend all that time going up and down the steps. Just kind of did all the little mental math between the three of us, and then when we dropped our fluids off.
All right. So, just as a guide out there, how much time left do you need to leave yourself to get up the fucking lighthouse stairs? How long does that process take?
To me, it's longer than you think. I want to say at least 30 seconds. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I'd say I left a minute and I got there with 27 seconds left, so 30 to 40.
Wow. Okay. So yeah, give yourself, just to be safe, give yourself 45 seconds. Like, even if you're back at the house, give yourself a full minute to get up to the top of the lighthouse, I guess. Wow.
One thing I saw doing at the lower level character, with the rad toads, if I got a hit on a rad toad with my weaker gun, because I'm running, she has rifles, and so I was using my pipe rifle. If I got a hit on a rad toad, Pat got a hit on a rad toad, we'd both get loot off it. Extra bioluminescent fluid that way. Which was cool.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Because I've only ever done it with one-shotting them before, or two-shotting, but no one else hitting. So we did get more stuff that way. And to get the rad toads to spawn, I find going into the base of the lighthouse, then running all the way back past the house, and then turning around. Usually 1 or 2 times the rad toads show up, but I don't know if there's a sure way to get them to spawn or not.
That luminescent fluid up to the top, and you put it in the light at the top of the lighthouse, and by the time you get down the stairs, the Mothman is at the bottom. A wise Mothman.
Oh, wise Mothman. What's special about the wise Mothman, Eddie?
He's friendly. He doesn't attack you, at least, and if you go up to him, you can press a button to commune with him, and he flaps his wings and smoke everywhere.
That's very nice. And it gives you some sort of boost, right? I forget what it is exactly.
Exactly what the boost is now.
It's experience. Yeah, it's experience boost.
I always like a good XP boost. That's nice. You stack all those XPs on top, you can really get to earning. So, Wise Mothman is one of my favorite photo ops. I always waste a bunch of time taking pictures of the Wise Mothman flapping his wings around and stuff. Need to get it done with this character so I get a couple cool.
Did you get the Mothman Will this time?
This time, yeah, we did. Yeah, I think that was the one. I'm trying to remember. Oh, no, it was a different time. I was trying to remember which time we did it, where Jen took a picture of petting the Mothman and Bethesda retweeted it.
Yeah, that's great. I always love.
I think this is time before.
Yeah, you guys are so good at your photography. It's really fun when especially when Bethesda takes note and they retweet it. Whoever's in charge of their social media, it's probably some like teenage intern twerp or something, but it's so fun when they take note,
Yeah.
It's great. I want to upload my your quick and easy tip to get around the Camp McClintock gunfire range, the target practice range. I want to upload that.
that was outstanding.
You're beautiful.
Did we mention that on the show?
No, not yet. It's been 2 weeks. You uploaded that video and the one with it against the ghouls.
The ghouls, equally as effective, twice as funny at least.
It was good.
I stopped every time I scrolled up to that. I would stop and I'd laugh hard every time watching it fly through the air.
Yeah. So to tell the listeners what you're talking about, Andrew.
All right, I've been having too much fun with the orbital strike grenades, and I'm not exactly sure what the difference was, because over at Camp McClintock, I'm really shitty at the taking aim and shooting down the barrel of your pistol or your rifle, whatever. I'm not good at target practice. And then you add on the aspect of a timed element to it, and that just fucks me over. I'm not good at that sort of thing. So, I've heard Pat say that you can use explosives or grenades, and other people say that they used to be able to use melee. They would run up and stab it. So it's like, that's fucking cool. But you couldn't do that. They took away the melee eventually, but the explosives still work. I was like, hey, that's fun. I don't have any frag grenades on me. God, I probably have to throw 3 or 4 of those. Oh, wait a second. I just finished the Enclave stuff, and they gave me some orbital grenades. All right, let's go. Let's go check this out. I'll test this out just to see what happens. So all the I start the Camp McClintock. See, in order to become the whoever the big daddy of the Enclave, you have to get your military badge or whatever. You have to do those stupid quests. So I go over there, do the target practice, and it's like, okay, they just gave me that orbital grenade. I'm the orbital strike beacon. I'm gonna use that thing just to see if Pat's theory is correct. And I have my what's the explosives destruction card? What is that one called?
Demolition expert.
The demolition expert. That was one of my assignments. So I got that one maxed out at 5 already. So that increases the damage, and then I have the radius one. So that one, will increase your area. I toss that bad boy down, and it explodes. Boom! I got all of the targets at once. It's like, holy shit, that's fucking great. And I thought that I was in fairly close proximity to the explosion, and that's how I gauged when I was in the blast zone. When you walk over to the White Spring, the golf shop there, you step on that bus and you can collect a bunch of ghouls in front of you. After you run into the door and, hey, wake up everybody. You draw everybody outside and they all collect in front of that bus there a little bit. So it's like, oh, I'm going to collect them right there. Then I'm going to drop an orbital grenade and that'll be great. And I threw it down. There's like 12. I don't know about 12. That might be an over-exaggeration. There's quite a few, at least 6 ghouls standing around there. And I get it back as far as I can on the bus. So I was like, oh, I'm plenty of distance. I don't know if I was wearing power armor over Camp McClintock or if the structure of the building was protecting me or something. But that definitely didn't happen at White Springs. I tossed down the orbital grenade, and it blew up, every ghoul around, of course. But I also think it caught the bus too, and that's what got. I don't know if the bomb itself got me or if it set off the front end of the bus and the bus exploded too. It was so quick, it didn't matter. But my character looks like a fucking gingerbread man with his hands outstretched and legs outstretched, doing a cartwheel in space, flying, a couple hundred feet.
Yeah, he flew so far.
But he's in a hazmat suit too, so it looks like you're flying through space in a spacesuit.
Yeah, it's so fun. And then I almost nailed the landing in the red car behind. If I would have landed in the seat of that car, that would have just been the perfect Evel Knievel style stunt. That would have been amazing. So that was funny. That was a good. You can check out that video over on our Facebook group. I posted both of those today.
Have you ever had that happen where your character flies through the air like that and just ends up in a different part of the map?
Like they eclipse through somewhere.
Yeah. Because all of a sudden you go through, you're flying through the air, and then eclipse, the screen goes upside down, and then you're complete different area of the map. It's like, wow.
Well, speaking of clipping, yes, you took me to a fun little zone. Have you mentioned that little spot on the show before?
Oh, I don't know. When I took you to the Upside Down, I might have mentioned it.
The Upside Down. Speaking of Upside Down, Stranger Things season 3, everybody. But so take me to the Upside Down, Jeff. What is that?
It was a location on the map where they've changed the look of the map. They've revamped the terrain, but they haven't changed the mesh. So if you walk, you can actually follow the mesh down below the terrain, and you can see everything below the land, which is really great. Andrew posted a picture up on Facebook of it, and I've taken Angel there before too, and it's really neat because you're on top of a hill as well. So if you look down, you can see the edge of the hill and all the landscape, and it's just a cool little spot. You could totally come on.
Where is this?
It's actually on the top of the mountain, right near the Imposter Sheep Squatch event, the encrypted event. If you go to where the water tower is, behind that, towards Widow's Perch, then up the hill on the left a little bit towards the west, there's a huge tree, and that's where Ron's temple had been. And then just before they introduced the Imposter Sheep Squatch, Bethesda changed the terrain there. They added the encrypted area and they changed the terrain. And there used to be a copper resource, which is why I had set up there. Well, they covered the copper resource, but where it dips down into the ground, where that was, is where it still dips, and you can get under the terrain.
Oh, okay.
Very fun. Good
Just a
stuff,
silly
man.
little thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I like to do as a silly little thing myself. I like to get up there into that attic or the crawlway in the White Springs clubhouse and wait for the the ghouls to spawn up there. You know, if you go in that room, they have the holes in the ceiling. You can like jump up into the ceiling.
Oh, I
Yeah,
never
I
thought to
think you
do
showed a
that.
picture. I think did you show a picture of that a couple weeks ago?
I may have put a picture up in there. Yeah.
That's smart. I never even thought about doing that because I've noticed
Yeah.
them fall out of the ceiling before, but that's really cool.
Yeah, you can't really move around up there. It's too tight. They had like some pipes and stuff, but you can jump up there and kind of hang around and look, and it's a silly thing, but it's fun
Oh,
for
that's
some
fun.
reason.
That's fun. That's totally cool. I love little mesh spots like that. Good deal. Will, did you go find some wolf buddies?
You know what? I did not either. That was the one I couldn't get to pop for me. I stayed in that area a bunch, hoping there was something that would trigger it, because that's up there by the Tyler County dirt
Dirt track. Yep.
dirt track, right? And then plus the fine jangles is around that area, and my camp's not too far from there at Aaron Holt Farm. So I spent a lot of time. I was running up north and south and all over that area, and it never triggered for me.
What is a good way to get stuff to trigger? Can you guys is server hopping an effective way? Just running how if you're trying to get a specific event to pop, is there a method?
There are some that are triggered by entering the region. We know that there are some that trigger real easy. But otherwise, you're looking at either server hopping or just, staying in the area of the map and checking every 15, 20 minutes, and hoping you have more than 5 left on the event.
Yeah, and I did that too. I server hopped a couple of times. I just, I've seen it a bunch of times, and I've done it a bunch of times with my other characters, but it just wasn't happening again.
Is doing weird stuff like summoning all of your friends to come near the area, will bringing more people to an area have any effect on the probability, or having more luck on your character affect the probability of it if you're in the area? Is there anything like that?
No, I would say no, because the servers don't care about you that much. The servers exist as their own thing to an extent, and leader of the pack is more common, but all the events have cooldowns, a certain amount of time they have to wait in between, and then I think which one pops is random. Leader of the pack is actually a pretty common event, which is why I put it on there near Jangles, because I figured people would be in the area. But I didn't get it either. I started it, and I got only the first wolf, and I almost made it to the second before timer ran out.
Ray?
Nope. I even took the Tyler County Fairgrounds, workbench twice.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Trying to, whatever I could do to get the stupid thing to fire, but nope.
Yeah. I got
but of course,
up there to pop around, waiting for
when
it.
you're, when you're in the middle of fighting the Scorch Beast Queen, it fires off, no problem.
We joke, but that is way too true. You get your defense missions at the worst time sometimes.
Oh yeah.
From past knowledge, I think there's 3 different little circles you have to find, and in those circles you'll find a pack of wolves each.
Yeah.
They're basically leveled to you, probably, I would assume.
Yeah, they're level. First alpha, second alpha, third alpha, and it actually overlaps now with an area where you can do the sheep squatch event, free range. So I ended up running into free range when I tried it, which was good. So I did that one instead.
Fun. I did notice free range spawning up there the other day. I've usually seen it by the Big Fred's barbecue area down there.
Yeah, but we did one at Aaron Holt Farm last week. Yep.
It's so crazy that it's up there now. Or it's probably always has been. I just never noticed it.
And the wolves can be pretty far flung too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. They're all in the forest still, though, right? They're not set up to the Toxic Valley or anything.
But they're not close together, right?
And they give you a 5-minute window or something, 10-minute window to do it all. Who knows?
I don't remember the time.
I think it starts with 30, like most of them.
Yeah.
Or maybe the timer starts once you kill the first one. But
I didn't even know they had a 30-minute limit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I haven't ever successfully done it, which I was hoping we would this time.
Oh, yeah. Oh, well, that's funny. Yeah, I was gonna say I've actually pretty much, I wasn't able to like trigger it, but for me, every time I've ever done it, like I felt like I've had plenty of time to get it done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's go find a space monkey. Eddie, did you find a space monkey?
I did. I just happened to be headed up there the other night when I was playing with my kid, and he wondered why I got all excited when I seen it pop. Oh, Jangles was missing at the Tyler County Fairgrounds there.
Nice.
And they give you a pretty, a little circle area to look in. And I found him. He was in one of the concession areas next to an ice machine.
Is he always in the same spot?
I'm not sure. I've only done it a couple times.
Well, that's where it was for me. So
I was going to say I don't want to say and spoil for listeners who might not have done it, but yeah, he's always in the same spot. So if you've done it once, you'll do it every time.
All right. Well, ignore that part about the thing. Yeah. So they give you another circle, of course, that you can go wander around in and look around. What else are we looking for when we're up at the fairgrounds? There, of course, there's the Tyler dirt track right across the way for getting a workshop. Over at the dirt track, there's a junk pile, which I like a lot. There's some silver, if I remember correctly, like 3 silver, if I remember correctly. So there's one of the badges, miner. I don't remember which badge, but you have to collect silver. And it's not scrap, because I remember collecting a bunch of silver shit and being like, okay, I'm going to go finish it. And then I went and scrapped it, and that didn't work. And I was like, fuck. So like I went and set up the extractor, and I was like, wait, that's giving me the wrong shit. That also doesn't work. So you have to find the extraction spots without the extractor on it. Get the fucking extractor, mine it that way. It's super annoying. Anyway, the dirt track is over there. I like that. There's some good mining. It's one of my favorites to defend. I just like the sort of the stadium style of 2 sets of grandstands on either side of the track, and there's lots of fun stuff to jump on in the middle of the track, stuff like that.
A lot of to build, cars to get rid of. Had you found Jangles before, Andrew? Because we did it that night, and it was fun. Taking like 10 minutes just watching to see if you could find him.
Yeah, I don't think that I ever had taken the time to do that before, but it was one of those things where I had been in that spot and I just never looked down. Or something. You know what I mean? Like, I think I ran by that building plenty of times because you were there with me, and I think you found it pretty quickly.
Here's a tip for other people. If you know where Jangles is, a fun thing to do is jump up on something, go in photo mode, zoom all the way out like I did, and then watch your friend running around looking for Jangles, fighting Scorched and getting frustrated. It's kind of funny. So we did take a picture at the end, though, because you did ultimately find him.
Yay! Found the space monkey.
Yeah, and
I didn't write down any rewards. Do you get anything for finding Jangles?
I believe 100 caps or 150 caps. It's just a cap reward.
I forgot. Yeah, it wasn't much.
Yep. And then,
but there was right across in the little. I don't want to. I'll try to be spoiler free too. Right in the thing, like right across from it too, there was like a little cap stash and a bobblehead there. It's like for me.
Oh, a bobblehead, nice.
Yeah, some of those games and concessions are really great. There, Wavy Willard's down at the other place, because you can get all the stuff from the toys. A lot of those areas with games, like at the Tyler County Fairground, there's one that has tons of mason jars set up if you need glass.
Yeah.
Not that anyone needs glass, but other ones have plastic baskets with golf balls, which can be really useful.
Ooh, yeah, the golf balls are good for plastic. So what do we do? What else are we looking for over there at the fair? There's a bunch of toys. If you're looking for screws, there's like cars and rocket ships and stuff like that as prizes. And
and lead. I mean, not just screws with all those, right? All the toys.
Yeah. I'm usually low on screws. That's why so all the toys are in sort of like the carnival games booths. Look in there, you'll find toys and stuff, and like Jess and people, I don't know if someone else mentioned it, the teddy bears for the collector badge. There's lots of the different varieties of teddy bears up there, right?
Yeah, there's 6 or 7 of them. Some of them are tougher to find, like the panda bear and the rad bear.
Yeah, so there are a bunch. I didn't even think about that. Like, I actually was writing them down as I saw them. I have no idea why. So there's like 8 of them that I saw. Yeah.
I just saw this panda bear. Did the Fuck. Did the overseer have a panda bear on her bed in Sutton?
I think she did. Imported Chinese panda. I think you're right.
Yeah.
Nice.
There's
Very
one on
cool.
the roof of Biv's by Cap Stash too.
On the roof of Biv's? I don't know if I've ever.
Oh
gone
yeah.
there.
The
Cap Stash up there, huh?
Yep.
There is. That's the one. Yeah, like I always go to it when I go to Biv, and normally it just gives off a normal amount of caps, like any other cap stash. But I went up there one time. Is the most I ever got. I got 112 caps, I
Oh
think.
wow, that's nice.
Yeah.
It's like finding a monkey.
Yeah.
So, okay, real quick, guys, list for me. What are those known rooftop cap stash locations around the map that you know? I know of the one of the Enclave back entrance at the White Springs, but now that one's new to me. What are the other ones that you guys know of right off the top of your head?
So wait, not just rooftop. You're just saying like others, like wherever or on
Yeah,
rooftop?
wherever.
Well, I
Yeah,
know
wherever.
the two in West Tech because I go to West Tech all the time. But you know,
You have the cap collector card on ever? How do you just stumble across them, or do
I
you
just stumble across them. Some of them I've learned of from hanging out with Dwight, who does have that card, or not the cap collector card, but the because cap collector just increases the amount, right? But he had the card that gives a little jingle when you're in the location.
Yeah.
So like yeah, I know, you know, there's a lot of times there's one at the Middle Mountain Cabins, you know, they're hidden inside a little stove there. And that one's right by my camp, so I go to that one all the time and grab that. But and thinking about it now, there's actually 3 at West Tech. So
Well, that seems to be the money place too.
Yeah, I mean, White Springs is pretty good too. I'm not good with cap stashes. I always kind of forget them. It kind of makes me wonder if we should put on that card to help you locate cap stashes. But White Springs, there's a loop some people do where I think there's 13 or 16 cap stashes all around the greater White
Good
Springs
lord.
area.
oh wow, I didn't. Okay,
Yeah,
Hey,
it's
guys.
there's a bunch.
I have a weird quest in my log that says collect some sort of 7 holotapes about White Springs or something. You guys done the 7 holotapes?
Never done it.
yeah, I did it. I did it.
I've done it. It's not that exciting, but yeah, I think it'll get it done and out of your quest log.
Just like golfers.
Just
Yeah.
worth the effort. Yeah, I haven't killed it. I've never done that either.
They've made it easier now. Golfers spawn at all levels at a higher frequency. So they fixed that, I don't know, patch 9 or so. It's been a little while. So people can finally clean that out if they just hang out west and
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I've been through White Spring a lot, and I never see those. I mean, I get a lot of weird, like level 9.
Yep.
Standing next to a level 72 or 62, but yeah, I've never seen any of the unruly golfers.
Yeah, I only ever find them, like I said, on the golf course west of the clubhouse and as it wraps around to the north. Like none of the actual White Springs property proper where the houses are. They're only on the course pretty much on the west and north side.
Yeah, well, and I always go out and clean out the ones on the course too.
Mm-hmm.
How are they distinguished? Just by title? Do you have to pop into VATS? Or are they wearing a different costume or anything?
Oh, no, they wear golfers' togs like cool podcast crews do when they're streaming.
Fuck yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So there is a fun rooftop stash box in Morgantown. There's a building that's about as tall as the university campus over by the high school. And if you can make your way up to the very top of that, you'll find the rooftop poet. And it's a skeleton, and he's got a pen in his hand, and he was writing a poem, when he died. But up there with him is a cap stash.
Hoarding his money and writing poetry. Good job.
Yeah.
Super cool. All right. Does anybody have any other thoughts they'd like to get into on any of the material in this that we covered tonight, or any other things that you'd like to bring up? Jess, I'll remind you, I cannot see the show notes. So was there anything else we needed to get to?
Oh yeah, we got a lot on the show notes still. So we can get to that in a bit. But does anyone have anything else for the quest tonight? Okay, here is a quick shout out that just impromptu out of nowhere. Our boy Brian in the Xbox group, B Mitch. We've been playing with him since around Oshnocht when we first met him around a low level 20, and he just hit 100 tonight while we've been podcasting.
Oh, very well. Good.
Nice.
So congrats on 100. That's awesome.
Hey,
My
so
character
he
is
needs
still
to.
77.
I always
Such a
forget to do
milestone.
this. I always forget to do this, but yeah, go take your milestone picture with your Vault Tech ID card level thing that shows your level there. Yeah, that's always fun to every 25 levels take a picture with that frame.
I love that it updates your level, and then you can even take and make that your new main picture if you want by selecting it in the when you're loaded on a character, change your character picture.
Yeah, you can just sort of see the progression of what your character looks like and what they're wearing and stuff.
Yep. So
Oh, good, because I've been making Batosai creepier and creepier looking as we go. I figured out a way to make her eyes even larger and her mouth even smaller.
I thought it was
And,
just
give her-
my imagination that the last picture with the super mutant, she looked creepy.
No, it's I keep tweaking it. Christian hates whenever he comes and runs into her because he's just freaked out by her.
Now, Ray, I know you're not a particular like collector of things necessarily. You're not going to build a huge sprawling camp unless instructed to. You're not going to go out and collect a billion different costumes because you want to present the flair and pizzazz of your character necessarily. Except for Abby, you did. You get all the skeleton stuff. You sort of bought that.
Well, she was all in on the Mothman, so she had to do it. And on Batosai, so she was kind of the way that it ended up working out. So her outfit is a straight jacket. So she's been sporting that as soon as she could, and also the asylum worker's hat. So that's her general look. And then it was particularly nice. Her weapon modifier is Ghoul Slayer, and her melee weapon is Death Tambo. So she's doing unarmed, and so she has a Ghoul Slayer Death Tambo that just tears through
nice.
Fort Defiance and
White Spring.
And White Spring.
Cool. I randomly picked one of those up the other day. I've never used one very much, but it's really fun to swing one of those around, and it gives you a little cha-ching, cha-ching.
Makes a lot of noise.
Yeah, it's really fucking noisy and kind of a fun little sound.
So I just posted the upcoming bits in the sidebar of the chat, but you can't see that either, can you, Andrew?
I can see nothing.
Okay.
So if you could find some way to load it into Audacity, you'd be able to see it.
I don't even have the file menu above the file that I'm recording right now, so I don't know how I'm going to save whatever we're recording right now.
I'm
anyway.
sure after you stop, you can figure it out. Hit a
I
few.
hope so. God, I've been punching all the buttons I can think of while we're recording, and it's at the risk of stopping the recording.
On PC, it's F11.
Well, I've got a PC keyboard, so let's see if it backs me out. Oh goodness. Let's continue on.
So, okay, let's talk about Iguana Bits a bit. The Iguana Bits news section. So, since it's been 2 weeks, there have been a couple of posts since then. First thing I want to mention, and I'm sure a lot of you guys are keeping up with this and reading, Patch 11. So we talked about Patch 11 with a brief preview 2 weeks ago. It was, and that's because it was scheduled to come out this past Tuesday. But they announced last week they're putting it off, and it's going to be on track. Patch 11 should come out Tuesday, July 16th. So this coming Tuesday, which means be prepared to download more stuff on your Xboxes, everybody, or console and PC of choice. Highlights on Patch 11, things I wanted to mention. The highlights that I was most excited about, 50% longer spoilage on raw food and flux.
Yay.
So, so that's only going to be meat and plants in your inventory before you cook them. So food, once it's cooked, same. But raw food and raw flux going to
Still
last.
that'll help.
Yeah, definitely. There's going to be smoothing, something I talked about a bit, smoothing for new characters. They decided, they realized over time that they needed to make it a little bit better of an on-ramp for new characters, because they throw a lot of survival mechanics at you right away. You can be really short on, as we're all discovering with our new characters, unless you're level 77 already. You can be short on caps for fast traveling, short on components, because like we were talking the other day, we're focused more on quests and leveling lately, and not as much on exploration since we've seen the whole map. So the smoothing thing they're doing, they're going to be doing survival mechanics. You're not going to be as likely to get disease until level 15, a little easier there. They're making fast travel cost less, as though you got your own personal travel agent to your level 25. And they're going to be smoothing levels of creatures. So when you leave the forest and you're going into the ash pile or the savage garden or up in the Toxicali Valley, you get to those places. Sometimes it's a bit of a shock because you run into things higher level than you expect because there are higher level characters around. Well, they're going to try to smooth that. So certain areas right next to the forest will spawn at a, there'll be a lower level cap. So just because there's a bunch of level 150s cruising around up there in the Toxicali Valley, you're not going to necessarily run into level 60 creatures. Obviously, if you go deeper in, that'll still happen. And the Savage Garden is such a big place that I'm sure you'll still get up to level 99 in various places. Also, let's see. They're going to be changing item descriptions. So full item descriptions will be showing now, not just the first line on your legendaries and stuff. And more importantly, this includes recipes and mods. So you know how when you're going to buy a recipe or mod and you don't really know what it does? You just see a name? They're going to be fixing that. So you hover over a recipe, you'll see what the benefits are. You hover over a plan for a mod, and it'll say, what it actually modifies.
Because I have an app loaded on my phone to explain to me what the different power armor mods actually do, because just by title, I was always baffled.
It's so confusing.
It really is. And I mean, I've already talked about it before. The names don't match. Like sometimes you just don't know what you're saying. So that's a big help. And then the last new item highlight is they're going to fix the auto scrapping of bulk junk. With apologies to our buddy Scott, because he thought it was already fixed and scrapped a bunch of bulk junk by accident. But they put off the patch. They put off the patch. So that will be fixed. And you can now rest assured that when you bulk stuff up to sell in the future and you run out of caps, you can keep it on you without scrapping it.
Yeah, that was another annoying thing also. Yeah.
Besides that, it's mostly bug fixes. They say they're fixing the looping turret noise. So those of you following with the Nuketacular last week, or I've run into the looping turret noise everywhere. I've run into it in Nuclear Winter, during workshop defense events. Has it hit most of you guys?
Every Sentry bot.
All the time.
Yeah. So they say they fixed it. We'll hope they fix it. We'll see. And then they're doing lots of camp and adventure gameplay, yet to be detailed. So full patch notes for this patch will be out along with the patch on Tuesday.
Okay. Yeah, I was hoping, when you were talking about the better item descriptions, I was, excited about that one. But then one of the things I would like is for the regular plans, like, resort chairs or something like that, to be able to know what they look like or something. I will never really get an idea.
You have to keep
because sometimes you don't know what you're buying.
You have to keep that picture pinned. We posted in the group back a couple months ago, and we have it in the Xbox chat. Keep that pinned so you can scroll down and find the item.
Yeah.
It'd also be nice to know what perks you're going to have in order to attach a mod.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I wonder if that'll be part of the description. Somehow I doubt it, but that would be great, because Atticus, her melee weapon is a pipe wrench, but she can't mod anything with an intelligence of 1.
Right. Yeah.
So I picked up. I bought the heavy pipe wrench mod, whatever it is, and nope, can't put it on.
Have you tried, or did you just look at the thing that just says you can't?
Oh no, I tried.
Oh,
On
you
that.
did? Okay, because I could have sworn that I've run into this issue before, and then you hit the button that says attach mod, and it lets you attach it anyways.
Mhm.
But I might be mistaken. Sorry.
No, I
Yeah,
feel
well,
like
you've got to watch because I've had it where it says that it does it, but then when you go back, because I was fighting with this stupid Deathclaw gauntlet for a long time, you know, and kept wondering, how come I can't get this thing attached? And it looked like it was, going to work, but it just didn't happen. It's
it's tricky. Yeah, sometimes
yeah,
the interface because the lag shows it doing something it doesn't actually do, and yeah, it's not humane to declaw your death claws. So don't do that. Did anyone have any thoughts on any of the patch notes that they saw, or the
No.
other thing detailed in the most recent Iguana Bits is about a new seasonal event coming the end of this month. So I am super excited about this because this is our first seasonal event since Fashnacht. We've had everything that rolled out with Appalachia, but most of that stayed. This is going to be like Fashnacht, and I have this if you guys are ready to hear. Okay. Do you smell smoke? Well, it's probably just Graham getting the grill ready. At the end of this month, you can expect a new seasonal event that will bring dwellers around Appalachia together to beat the summer heat with everybody's favorite traveling super mutant and his best pal, Charlie the Moo. And no, Charlie is not on the menu.
Oh, good.
To throw a great party, Graham's going to need a little help from his human friends, and he's hoping lots of you will make an appearance and lend a hand. Of course, he'll be handsomely rewarded if his shindig is successful. Look out for more details, including the event start date a little later this month. So, super exciting. We're going to get an event with Graham everybody can show up for, and I bet it's going to involve a lot of meat. I'm just guessing.
they should have an ice cream maker, and you can make ice cream out of Charlie's milk.
Oh! Charlie doesn't like being milked too many times in a row. I love it.
The vegetarians can bring the imitation seafood package.
Yeah. I discovered the other day, like I didn't know they have a vegetarian ham in there too.
I saw
Right.
that once. That's hilarious. Where is that?
I don't know. I don't remember where I found it. I just ran across it.
Find it in shelves and stores sometimes. It's like the Appalachian tofurkey, pretty
That's
much.
so perky. That's hilarious.
But yeah, that's super exciting. And I have a feeling it's going to launch around the time of QuakeCon. They promised they're going to reveal information about the upcoming Vault raids, a lot more information on Wastelanders and that update coming, and the roadmap for Fallout 76 at QuakeCon, and that's taking place July 25th to 28th. Just so everybody
Oh, a couple of weeks now.
exactly. It's another Bethesda event. It's for id originally, and but now it's Bethesda too, so they show some stuff there.
How long did Fashnacht go? I don't even remember anymore. That wasn't just a week, was it?
10 days, I think. Was it 10 or 14?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I feel like it started just before a weekend and ran through it the next Tuesday. A week to Tuesday, Friday to Tuesday.
Yeah, it definitely ended on a Tuesday. I don't remember when it started.
And then besides that, and like I said, I expect that this event will probably happen around the time of QuakeCon or just be announced then. We're also Atom Shop updates. They are right now. You know how there's always it seems to be a weekly sale, something going up, worth checking a lot. They're trying to get us to come back and part from our atoms. But the current sale is one of these like we had back in May, and then right before Wild Appalachia, where it's items leaving the shop. So there's a whole list of items leaving the shop on the 16th, so this coming Tuesday. So be aware, some of the stuff you see in that section on the right of the featured area, they will be gone after this. So if there's something you had your eyes on, make sure and pick that up. So that's all I have for Iguana Bits news.
Yeah, there's actually one more thing in the shop that I noticed tonight when I logged in is as far talking about parting with Adam is they have another one of those Adam bundles for sale like they had with the one where you could get the Maxim's battle coat with it. It was a 1,000 plus 500 atoms and Maxim's battle coat. Tonight they had it was a it was in like preview for the QuakeCon event coming up. It was the 1,000 atoms with 500 free, and it was like a revolutionary soldier's outfit or something like that.
Yeah,
So
I think it's a retexture, a recolor of the general's outfit from Fallout 4. When you become general, it's
Right.
a revolutionary general's uniform. They're calling it.
okay,
They took
So-
10 more of my dollars today.
yeah, I bought it. That's actually the best deal that they get. You know, if you're a person that doesn't mind spending money on atoms, but that 500 free atoms based on like buying 1,000 is
Yeah.
it's
It's
atom to dollar value is even better than buying the 4,000 and getting 1,000 atoms free. So
it makes you feel like it's all created. It's all a fake economy, and it makes us feel like we're getting this great deal because I bought them with the Elder's Battle Code. But
yeah,
it's they set the prices in the first place. But yeah, I convinced myself 1,000 plus 500 free plus a coat, and you buy stuff on sale. It's
Yeah.
like everything's half price, but is it
yeah.
really?
Right.
Well, and I'm almost back to 5,000 atoms. So
Next time there's a is it going to be the Wendigo collection next time instead of the Mothman collection? What will tempt you?
I don't know.
Hopefully they
For
think of,
Vitosa, it'd have to be all the stuff out of the insane asylum.
oh, that would be cool though if they did that thematically. If you could get like a great like metal gates, like Stephen King style metal gates or something for your camp, that would be really cool.
Yeah.
So next I wanted to mention just tips, things to check out. I haven't done one of these bits in a couple of weeks. So one thing that I realized probably 2 or 3 months ago, and I thought maybe I had just missed, but then I've talked to a few people, and it seems like a lot of people aren't aware of it. You can actually change your camera angle and distance when you're in third person view. Are you guys aware of this?
No.
I am now.
Yeah.
And I would like to. So yeah.
So I know this works on PlayStation and Xbox. I assume it works on PC as well. So there's a toggle button to toggle between first and third person, as we know. On Xbox, it's the view button. PlayStation, I think it's select, probably they call it. And then there's probably just a key you press. Well, when you toggle to third person, hit that button. Then if you press and hold that button while using your mouse, if you're using mouse look, I think, or on our controllers for couchers, if you pull back the camera, the right stick to move your camera, you will actually move the camera back. So you can actually make it so you can see your entire character on the screen instead of just the shoulders. And this will stay. So after you've done that, you just let go of the select button. It'll stay, and then you can. That's a good way to be able to see around corners. If you're in nuclear winter, for instance, or just get a different view. If you're doing, say, some of the jumping puzzles and stuff, you want to see right where your character's feet are.
Yeah, I can't wait to try this. I didn't know this was possible, but it's something I wanted.
Yeah, it's good for photos outside of photo mode too, because
Yeah.
when you've been AFK for a while, sitting on that AFK couch over there, and the camera starts spinning, it gets good distance from you, and it seemed like that was the only way to do it, but no. So give it a try. It's the same button. I assume the same on PC. Hit it, pull back with your mouse or your stick, and it'll change the view. Now that's only for that play session, but it will stay the whole play session.
Is this a thing in past Fallout games too, Jess?
It did work in Fallout 4, yes. You could change the distance. I'm not sure it was the same combination of buttons. I don't remember, because I'm a first-person player.
Go back one more number. That's the one that really concerns me.
Oh, yeah, good point. I mean, if we played on PC, I know you could control it, but we don't.
That was one of my main complaints about Fallout 3 was I'm a third-person player. I have been with all my games that if it's possible, I'm viewing the back of my character. But in Fallout 3, it was just like you were so zoomed out that like you saw way too much. Like you weren't just seeing the feet and stuff of your character, but there was another 20 feet of ground that you were seeing as well. In Fallout 4, I would see like the knees up for my character, which I like, or sort of like the waistline up. I kind of like that sort of.
Yeah, and then in Fallout 76, it seems to start right around the butt to lower back, which might not be the best. So just something
I
to
might,
try.
I might zoom that out just a little bit more. I don't necessarily need to see the feet of my character, I don't think. But Fallout 3, that was my main like if I can zoom that in, oh man, that would improve my experience with that game a ton.
So another thing I wanted to mention, this isn't a tip as much as something to check out, but I know some people have been waiting for this. So some people watch Oxhorn on YouTube. He just 3 days ago released a a Vault 51 lore video. So it's an hour and 36 minutes long. But he got one of his viewers who had hit max level over 105. Well, not max level, but the top level for getting access to stuff in the vault, because you need overseer level to read terminals, get audio tapes, all that. Oxhorn got on that character, and so he's gone through and he's put together a video reading the terminals, listening to holotapes, and making a story out of it to kind of relate the story of Vault 51 and what happened there. It's excellent. It's feature length, which is kind of funny. I have already watched most of it. I do disagree with a few of his conclusions. You'll see he doesn't always let the facts or what you see get in the way of a good story. The way he puts Dave's explanation together, but he does make a great story out of it using about maybe half of what you find there. And I agree with most of the interpretations. There are some issues with date too, which I question. I think Bethesda got the dates wrong on some of the items in there, but that's just if you want to be too much of a lore hound. But it's a fantastic video. If you want to understand Zax and what happened in Vault 51 and the 50 residents there, take and watch that. And then finally, I wanted to mention, this is something Frater brought up in group, a tip that showed up on Reddit by a Reddit user named GB. And he mentioned, and other people have tried and verified, that using explosive bait may be a Scorch Beast Rend, another Scorch Beast Rend to force them to land. So don't know how long this will last, don't know if Bethesda even knew, but you make that explosive bait, you toss it on the ground, and as long as no other creature hits it first,
it dives in for the meat.
It dives in for the meat.
That's hilarious.
It wants that good rad bag.
Oh, that's so great. I hope that's true. That combination with, what is it, Will? It's not. What's the effect?
It's just mine's. It's mine's rad.
But I'm saying in tandem with that crippling effect. The
one gun army.
Yeah, the one gun arm. Okay, there you go. I just picked that card up, Will. I'm excited to start playing.
Yeah, I that's one of the things I've been going back and forth trying to figure out whether it works or not. I think it works. Like I'm the Scorch Beast Queen, like specific, like like if that's what we're talking about. But just haven't.
Yeah.
We haven't heard it verified necessarily anywhere, but it does seem to work. Like I made sure. I'd mentioned earlier that we helped some people do like a Scorched Earth event that they were doing it the first time, and I made sure to share that card, with people, and we kept her on the ground almost the entire time. She got up one time, but then came back down soon, and then that was it. She was like, never got up. So
that's awesome.
It's worked for Pat in multiple battles at this point too. So the anecdotal evidence is stacking up that it really seems to be you cripple the Scorch Beast Queen, she'll land. And I don't know if anyone's tried explosive bait on the Scorch Beast Queen yet, but on regular Scorch Beasts, we've tried it.
Oh, you have? Did it work?
Yes. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Landed right down, started shooting it right in the cloaca. And it's just exciting because they can be so hard. Like Atticus is using rifles, but so many of us are melee, or I'm shotgun usually, that it's really difficult when you can't get them to land.
Yeah.
So that's all I had on tips. Besides, the last thing was workshops and nuke zones, and adding to that events like Andrew talked about earlier. It does seem that it's a great way to get a lot more enemies, and how you can drain them. If you're going to nuke an odd place, try hitting a workshop, try taking it, and it's a great way to guarantee you're going to get a lot of enemies popping up. And I imagine, speaking of it, if you hit like where you've got Charleston, Poseidon, and the Earth Mover all in one, that would be a pretty good spot. I don't know, I haven't tried that yet.
That's smart.
Yeah. Well, if you could do like a like an all-in-one place like that, it would almost like it could even like spread the density of other players out to give you like a lot more. You could give you a lot more looting to do for yourself, rather than other people taking it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Very nice. All right, guys. Anybody have anything else they'd like to get into this evening?
All good.
I would just like to mention that we did have a major loss in our community recently. We've mentioned it on the show numerous times. Mr. Adam Plude has passed away, and we are very saddened by this. And it'll be it's been tough to get over, and everyone has been sharing ideas and their thoughts and memories of Adam. We are in the process of putting something together, sort of like a remembrance of his activities in our group. So we will be sure to make everyone aware of that when we do get that. But I just wanted to let everyone know, if you're not in the Facebook group, we've been talking about it a lot. But if you just listen to the podcast and you know Adam through our podcast, he passed away last week. So we just wanted everyone out there to know that. And his wife has written us a few really nice messages about Adam and how he spoke so kindly of this group and the community. And I'd just like to thank everyone out there for making him feel welcome, and we're going to miss him a lot. So
Yeah. And there's pictures she posted of him like in Boston, like going to the Freedom Trail and all that just back in May, were like good to see.
yeah, that's one of those bucket list type trips
Yeah.
that other people might think it's silly, but if you've played Fallout 4 and you get to go to Boston and see some of those places, it can be a really, it's an awesome experience anyway. But to just see it through the eyes of Fallout 4 as well would just make Boston a really special place. I'm glad he got to experience that.
Yeah.
So we'll go ahead, and we've been putting it off for weeks now. Well, Jess mentioned that Freighter had spouted off about something or other in the group. So we'll, I guess, pity the fool and see what Freighter's been getting into down there in the Institute. So here's a little bit of Fallout Terminal Velocity. Any new listeners out there? We have had a project in the past. We're going to start trying to get back to it here. Called Fallout Terminal Velocity. It's basically just the lore, the background, everything that is woven together makes Fallout what Fallout is the terminal entries, the notes, the stories, the holotapes, anything that weaves into the lore of the series. So what we do is we sort of pretend like we are people out in the wasteland, collecting these holotapes or reading these terminals, and then we send these information back to Radioactive Rebecca, who is stationed and collecting information. She's basically the historian of the wasteland, and she's paying us good caps for any good information on historical artifacts with terminals and holotapes and notes and such. So we're sending these back to Radioactive Rebecca. And if you are a new member of our community and would like to appear on the podcast, this is a really great way to do it. What you want to do is contact Radioactive Rebecca at Fallout Terminal Velocity at outlook.com. And you can get a hold of Rebecca, and she will help you go down the spreadsheet list, and you guys can pick a location that is of particular interest to you. And then all you want to do is just read the terminal or play the holotape or give us a description of things you see as you walk around the site. And that's sort of a fun project we do. If you'd like to appear on the show, you can contact Radioactive Rebecca and get involved. And here's an example of an episode of Fallout Terminal Velocity.
freighter here. And for this set of tapes, I'll be heading into an area called bioscience. So the first terminal I see in here, now that everybody's finally gone to bed, Bioscience Terminal 2D, SZI, Phase 2 Development, Synth Zoological Initiative Phase 2 Development Journal. Initial thoughts. What to create? We've engineered creatures that inhabit the sky and the land. The next logical step is a creature of the sea. The greatest challenge remains data collection. Accurate measurements, behavioral data, life cycle, habitat, etc. Might Nahant have something useful? Note to self. Request that we allocate a scavenger team to that area. So which aquatic creature makes a good candidate? Start with size. Nothing too large, nothing too small. Most promising candidates, genus Delphinus or genus Carcharhinus. On-site habitat will be a logistical challenge. Expansion of bioscience likely necessary, including large water tank. Many logistical challenges to implement. Facilities division likely to oppose this. Have to pitch this as the first step in a broader plan. What else can go in the aquatic habitat? Can we grow food there? What other experiments could we do? Could we develop underwater synth models to carry out seabed salvage operations? Probably far-fetched. Need to work on this more. We'll table this journal for the time being. Focus on other priorities until I can come up with more reasons that will benefit from the aquatic habitat. Can still gather data in the meantime. Warwick Homestead Initiative. Mission Statement. The Warwick Homestead Initiative was conceived to facilitate field testing of various genetically modified specimens in the unique climate of the Commonwealth. It is hoped that we gain insight into the effects of trace radiation on the growth and development of said specimens. We of the Bioscience Division are in full agreement on the following hypothesis, subjected to the proper levels of ambient radiation and soil pH, such as those found in the exceptionally fertile soil at Warwick Homestead. Our modified seed specimens are likely to exhibit accelerated growth rate and a twofold increase in size. Project implementation. Stage 1. Using genetic manipulation, we will develop a unique breed of Cucurbitaceae with similar characteristics to those commonly farmed in the Commonwealth. Stage 2. Acquire Roger Warwick, Patriarch of Warwick Homestead, and conduct a series of intensive interrogation sessions to learn all we can about his life and family. Stage 3. With the intelligence gathered in Stage 2, create a synth replica of Roger Warwick and embed the unit on site at Warwick Homestead to oversee the operation directly. SRB will handle logistics of this aspect of the initiative. Stage 4. Begin covert deliveries of prototype seed batches for planting. Stage 5. Collect observational data from embedded unit. Stage 6. When sufficient data has been collected, retrieve synth unit and specimens for lab study. Purge all surface evidence of the initiative. Status reports. Batch P761 ready for shipment. Batch P664 delivery complete. Report www/877.1004 received. Batch P609 delivery complete. Batch P609 initiate delivery. Batch P609 ready for shipment. Report www.877.0905 received. Batch P557 delivery complete. Report www.877.1004 received. Batch P557 delivery complete. Batch P557 initiate delivery. Batch P557 ready for shipment. Report www.877.0715 received. Batch P534 batch destroyed in transit. Batch P534 initiate delivery. Batch P534 ready for shipment. Behavioral Anomaly Report. Director Holdren. Here are the details you requested. Read the gorilla behavioral anomalies. A total of 16 incidents of heightened aggression have been documented. Bioscience personnel who witnessed these events, myself included, would categorize the level of aggression displayed as extreme and dangerous. In all, 6 synth handlers have been destroyed by guerrilla attacks. As for what triggers these behavioral changes, I speculate that it's a reaction to perceived conflict. Several attacks followed heated arguments that took place within earshot of the pen. Another occurred soon after the recent SRB security sweep. It seems clear there is a fault in the behavioral model. I doubt it can be corrected. I know you're against it, but I think we have to consider destroying them. Failing that, I recommend that all contact with the guerrillas be limited to synth units only. Bioscience personnel should not be permitted to come into contact. The risk is simply too great. Carlin. View access logs. Access log. Access. Local login. Haldren C. Category update. SZI Phase 2 prep. Access. Local login. Volkert B. Category update. Feeding and maintenance log. Access. Local login. Holdren C. Category update. SZI Phase 2 prep. Access. Remote login. AOJ. Notes redacted. Access. Local login. Carlin I. Category added. Behavioral anomaly report. Access. Local login. K319. Maintenance. Replaced cooling unit. Access. Local login. Holdren C. Message transmit. Primary director's terminal. Message subject. SZI Phase 2. Alright, that's it for this terminal. That was quite a bit for one terminal. I can see at least one more. I'll have to do that one on a separate tape.
And if you've ever wanted to hear Freighter list off serial numbers or do his taxes, you now know what that might be like. That was a very interesting example for people who had never heard the project before.
He's in chat right now, and he just said about halfway through, "This is very long."
And it was a list of serial numbers. That's hilarious. All right. So anybody out there want to get involved with Radioactive Rebecca, contact us, falloutterminalvelocity@outlook.com. Thanks. Anybody else have anything they'd like to get into this evening before we sign off? I'd like to thank you guys for hopping on. Will, as always, such a wonderful time to have you, sir.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure, as always, for me also.
Eddie, I love it when you hop on, man. Thanks a lot for coming on.
Yeah, thanks. It's always a lot of fun.
Jess, thank you for being so informative and keeping us in line, as always.
You got it.
Ray, a pleasure, sir.
Indeed.
We will. I'm sorry, stumbling over myself here trying to cue stuff up. I'd like to thank everyone for downloading this edition of the Fallout Feed Roundtable, and we will see you in the wasteland.
Thank you for downloading this episode of the Fallout Feed Roundtable. If you are interested in doing a play-along character with us, the show can be contacted by emailing falloutroundtable@gmail.com. For the Roundtable schedule, our Amazon link, and all other show information, please head on over to asapodcasting.com, where you will find the Fallout Feed, a Skyrimatic podcast, our YouTube channel, the Chatterbox, as well as other content. Once again, thank you for downloading, and we'll see you in the wasteland.
Holy fuck, Jess, I just loaded Fallout 3, and guess what the fuck works?
No, it does.
Oh my god.
Brilliant. Fallout 3 Roundtable coming up.
Except for... Oh, geez. No, seriously, though, this will improve my enjoyment of Fallout 3 a ridiculous amount, because, okay, how much sense does this make? Where it was before, the default setting, when you aim your gun at something, what is the little mark called? The reticle?
Yes.
It is on the back of your own head. So you don't see what you're aiming at. You see the back of your character's head, what he's looking at. Now that I've scrunched it up a little bit, I'm looking at about waist high, and in the reticle is actually on the enemy and what you're aiming at instead of the back of your own character's head. Brilliant. This is going to make Fallout 3 so much better for me. Oh my god, that's amazing.
And it plays really well back and pat on the Xbox too. So we might have got our Switch version. I mean, fingers still crossed, but hey.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. It would have happened this year if it was going to, I feel like.
Yeah, it's nice that you guys actually get a little bit of control over your device.
Oh, the thickest of burns.
Yeah, you know, you get just a little nibble of what it tastes like to be a master race.
I did just get Fallout 76 loaded on my Xbox finally. I'll have to jump in one of these days.
Are you a PC guy? Yeah, you are, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, oh yeah.
What you?
I struggle with controllers trying to shoot stuff. I've got it on PS4 and I've been in there for a little while, but I'm worthless with a controller when it comes to shooting a gun.
So you said you're playing with your kid. Are you doing that console wise or?
No, he's on my gaming laptop. We're doing that on PC.
Nice, good deal. All right, guys. Well, and Ray, the F11 worked.
Good.
Except for it's like collapsing stuff up into the sides, and it's not really. As soon as I like try to click on them to control them, it's like going back, and I have to click. I don't know. It's not back to normal. I have to figure out what the fuck I did. But anyway, I need to say goodnight to the people on YouTube.
Good night, YouTube.
Thanks for listening, everybody. Did we have a hopping group tonight?
A little bit quieter in chat tonight. We were pretty involved in our thing, but we had a few people stop by.
Sweet. Good deal. All right. Thanks, YouTube, for watching. We'll see you guys.